I feel like I can't complain about this thing because it was gifted to me, right? I feel like
wasn't this a like hand me down computer?
It would not. It was a computer that was bought and it was never used, and so it's new, but it's not like this year new. It's from like 2024 or whenever. I feel like if you're
why is it so slow?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no answers. This is supposed to be
too many Sydney Sweeney movies.
No,
have you been visiting the wrong sites?
I haven't. No, I do. No,
Good for you.
I've never done it on a computer. So anyway, it's one of those things where it's like, it's just I feel like I can't complain about this because it was gifted to me.
No, you can.
This thing sucks.
Yeah. Okay. Who gifted it to you?
My dad.
Oh well, your dad's not here.
No, I know he's not. I mean, and my mom gifted it to me too. And then they had all these settings on here that my dad set up because he's slow and he doesn't know how to use the computer. And so I've had to remove some of these settings.
My mom and dad would buy me Christmas gifts, and there was too many years where it would be like a shirt, and I was like, this shirt is horrible. This shirt is so bad.
Yeah.
And so eventually they just figured it out, and they just started getting me like socks.
Yeah.
Or they started asking my wife of like, hey, what should I actually get?
This is a great point because the whole dawn of the sleep shirt is the dumbest concept of all time. Okay. Because how about we just tell Aunt Sandra that I'm a medium and I'm not a double XL? All right. Why am I
You'll
gifted?
grow into it.
Why am I gifted things that are clearly not my size from family members and I'm just supposed to be okay with it? Oh, you'll just sleep in it. You can't wear it out. Nobody could see it. Nobody could compliment you on it. You can't look good. You'll just sleep in it. And then hopefully one day when you're big enough, it's not faded out to the point where you actually can wear it out. Have you ever worn a shirt when you were younger as a sleep shirt, grew into it, and then wore it out?
I don't wear a shirt to sleep.
You haven't. No. It just is
I never had anything
forever.
that would be called a sleep shirt.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, I can't relate.
I had all my
pants and shirts.
Buy me a shirt in my entire life.
I feel like all my shirts were sleep shirts growing up. All these
question
people,
is, your aunt ever bought you a shirt?
For me, it's a no.
That's all I have a Tia Isa. All she bought us was like Ralph Lauren polos and like, all
I feel like you have this whole
stuff.
family set up with holidays, and for me it was just like my nuclear family, and then you'd see the other people but no gifts were exchanged. You'd wish them a good new year and you'd move on with
it. We went to a Christmas Eve party that was 50 people and we hosted a Christmas party that was 50
I did
people.
not have this
it's just being Latin. When you were just Latin, you have so many cousins, you have no idea.
In the Midwest, it's also just being Catholic. I've married into a family that's that.
Yeah, I had that.
So I'm now experiencing it this other way, but I didn't grow up with it.
The thing is about Latins, at least my Latins, I don't want to generalize everybody, but the people that were in my Latin family, they did two things. They had kids very early, and it just took them a very long time to pass away. And so it's like knowing your great uncles and knowing your great aunts and knowing your great grandfathers and mothers was a common occurrence. That was like, it was almost rare if you didn't. Why are you shaking your head?
Something that you can't hear that's going on right now that I can.
You just keep talking. You're not doing anything wrong.
You're just really annoyed by noise the last couple of days.
That's
some noises are preventable
at a specific place and at a specific time. That doesn't have to happen.
I know,
but Matt, hold on. Let's go back.
Yes, please. I love.
You're not the only person who has a big family. Okay,
I know.
You might be the only person in the studio that wears sleeping shirts. So.
That's what I'm saying. That's my defense of like I got a lot of gifts.
Having a big family is not an excuse to have a sleeping shirt.
I didn't buy the sleeping shirts. All right, I'm not the one purchasing the sleeping.
That's what
shirts.
I'm saying. Your big family is.
Yeah. So okay,
I have a big family and no sleeping shirts.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you that there's just my family's a bunch of idiots. Is probably what I'm trying to give off here. They're a bunch of dumbasses. No. They're a bunch of dumbasses that don't know. Hey, Matt's 8. He's probably a medium, not a double XL.
I was just sailing past him.
I don't think.
What do you mean sailing past me?
It's not about the family. It's about the sleeping shirt.
I'm telling you though, the sleeping shirt is a product of my dumbass family. Is what it is. All these stupid idiots who are in my family who don't have my last name, but they have my blood. They just don't know how to read a tag at Marshall's.
Are they listening right now?
No, they don't listen to the show. They're all stay-at-home moms or dads or whatever. I'm the only one working.
I always think of like teenage girls when someone talks about sleep shirts. Like,
my teenage girl, is that what you're trying to call your co-host? Right
Sydney
now?
Sweeney wears them in some of those movies.
Yeah.
She's so wow.
Got a lot of questions about that girl.
Yeah, did you see the new Euphoria trailer?
She can say no. She knows that, right?
Yeah, but
I don't know. She likes it.
I'm like scared to say anything.
No, you can't. No, she knows what she's got. She knows what she's rocking with, and she knows how to utilize it for monetary value.
I'm not getting any better as an actress, so I might as well dress up like a dog.
I really thought
she's not writing that storyline.
Yeah, but she could say no.
To a degree, sure.
Jacob Elordi does not look like he was into that at all. Maybe it's him acting. I don't know if that guy acts or not.
He doesn't look like he's into anything.
He doesn't look like he can act. I've never seen him in anything, but I just look at him. I'm like, I think you're just here because you're a handsome guy.
You have no clue who that is.
I've heard the name.
Okay. Yeah, he wasn't he in the Salt Bay or the Salt movie? I don't know. There was some.
Did they make a movie about Salt Bay?
Jolie?
No, there was a Salted Edge or something or.
Yeah.
That's a restaurant.
Yep. Saltburn.
Saltburn.
Yeah. We've done this before. And we got there eventually.
It was something about it was in a salt movie, and they did some. This guy only ever has sex on screen. He's only ever having sex and making out.
Now,
I mean, he made out with Anne Hathaway, and Anne Hathaway looked like she was having the time of her life. So
now, is this a movie you watched, or is this a movie that you've watched?
No, it's just this guy can't act, and he's hot.
Well,
and all of his
I'm not
clips,
interested in that. I decided when you bring up movies and TV shows, I am going to drill down as to whether you've watched it.
No, haven't. No, I have never sought out a Jacob Elordi movie.
You've only seen him making out with Anne Hathaway
on TikTok.
And
on TikTok.
She was really into it. It was if I was
Anne Hathaway. You tell that she was into it.
She reportedly they had to have Listerine strips after their kissing scenes were done because they were.
Oh, so you intense. Like read into this,
and then she had a artist paint Listerine strips, had like a painting of Listerine strips and gifted it to Jacob Elordi.
Is this made a reputable news source or is this a TikTok?
No, this is a thing that I've seen it everywhere.
I thought you were just going off the clip and you were like, oh yeah, she likes it.
No. I watched the clip too. You can, it's not.
Maybe she's a tremendous actor.
I don't know, man. There's some things you can't act.
I mean, Anne Hathaway is really good.
I didn't even know they were making a second Devil Wears Prada, by the way, until I was at the theaters and I saw a trailer for it.
Yeah. Meryl looks great.
She looks exactly as she's looked for my entire life.
I know. Right? Isn't that insane?
On my last film, I worked with Anne Hathaway, and we had a lot of makeout scenes. Oftentimes, our intimacy coordinator would come in and give us a Listerine strip, and we used them so much that Annie was kind enough to commission a painting of Listerine strips for me. Now I have that hanging up in my apartment.
They must really
know
each other.
Who the hell calls Anne Hathaway Annie?
Well, dudes who've made out with her.
Clearly. Maybe I should just start calling her Annie, and people would be like, "Really? What?
Really?
They'd probably just assume you're mispronouncing the name.
Probably. I mean, I mispronounce a lot of things.
Or that you used to be the Prime Minister of Canada.
Yeah. What about that guy? Holy turnaround. Goes from like literally leading a very important country in the world to he's eating noodles
on the curb at Coachella,
looking like a God.
Trudeau.
Hey, yeah.
Whoa.
He's skating Katy Perry, and he was in the complete F-boy, light jeans, white T-shirt, backwards hat outfit. He was like the type of
that's chill.
Yeah, he was in the chill guy outfit of the week.
Have you ever seen Princess Diaries?
When I was very, very young.
Really?
It came out on Disney when I was however many.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in maybe 15 years, 20 years, but I've seen it. Remember my
that movie holds up.
Have you? When was the last time you seen it?
Probably within the last like 3 years.
Is your wife a very big fan of Princess Diaries?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not why.
No.
That's
not
by
the way.
Yeah, that's not why.
Connor might have just watched it on his own.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I like Princess Diaries.
Yeah, I haven't. It's been there. It's become.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't know. It hasn't become like a cult classic or anything, but there definitely is a subculture of women of my age who love that movie, who dress up like Anne Hathaway consistently for Halloween.
Oh, okay.
The Princess Diary, like the white dress with the
really
that seems.
What year did that movie come out? Because that's like
one of our favorite games.
That's like before High School Musical.
Yes. Great call.
So kids your age.
2004?
01.
Okay.
Came out in 01.
Okay, so kids your age.
You got to realize that it was a rerun. It was a rerun on the Disney Channel a lot when I was.
So
growing
High School Musical was like, I was too old to like be super into High School Musical.
That's my life.
I was the perfect age to be into Princess Diaries.
Yeah. What my High School Musical is exactly what your Princess Diaries. I know. I sing my karaoke songs are Bruno Mars, When I Was Your Man, and anything from High School Musical.
I'm wondering if Saved by the Bell is the Princess. Like I dropped a reference on him earlier and it didn't work.
No.
And so it's like, all right, well, maybe that would be for me.
It's a Saved by the Bell reference, which
the Zach Morris.
I've made it very clear I haven't seen a moment of that show.
One of my, like Matt Scott game things. It's like we go to karaoke and I sing a duet of High School Musical with a young lady. It's worked before. It's happened. I've like gotten to know them afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you think that maybe they just liked you?
No, I think it was
no.
I think it was all High School Musical. They're like, wow, this guy, like you feel the love, you feel the emotion, you feel the tension, and then all of a sudden the first guy you look at is Zac Efron. And
how many dates in do you before you reveal the sleep shirt?
I think probably it gets revealed when we're going to bed and there's a very big shirt on me. And she's like, what is that? And I'm like, it's my sleep shirt. That's probably when it gets revealed.
It's a thick Ralph Lauren polo.
It's a Black Sabbath shirt, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's Black Sabbath. I have a big Black Sabbath
You were
t-shirt.
sleeping in a Ralph Lauren polo.
I feel like that'd go really well for me. No, I think it'd go really well or really terribly. He'd either be like, this guy's a weirdo, or like, oh my God, he's got class. He must have silk sheets.
That seems like one of those rich man, poor man things.
It does.
You can describe either one of those.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald loved that bit.
So no, High School Musical. I love that we're talking. Do you like High School Musical? Have you gone back and seen the High School Musical?
Oh, I've seen High School Musical.
Is High School Musical something you would introduce to your daughter and have her watch and maybe have her be into?
Sure, she could do whatever she wants. I don't care. She really.
There are things like there's a point though that like you can
wants.
introduce her to things and maybe force her to be into something. Like when my kid turns 3, he's seeing cars. He's going to be a big Lightning McQueen fan.
Matt, I'm the father. I am the parent. I can do whatever I want.
know. That is true. That's a good point.
Your kid's been running stairs like Robert Saleh as of late.
She going up, down, up, down.
Yeah, because it's been a bit. Well, I mean,
and there's more
like your
stairs.
other house didn't have stairs, but there's definitely more.
Just more stairs.
Yeah. No, that was a thing. I could
The
have prepared you for
exasperated
that.
way you say that.
There's just more stairs now. Yeah. She's good. I mean, she's running around all over the place.
Yeah.
She watches, we put her on the Disney Plus app and she points at what she wants to watch.
Wow.
She just She picks something crazy every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So smart.
I think so. I don't know. I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably gotten a little bad where she'll, the remote has, like the actual icons on it now for the specific apps that you want to open up. She pointed at the remote a couple days ago and said, Disney. And I was like, uh-oh, that's probably good.
Yeah.
No more TV for the day.
Now
she just points at the TV and he says, like, baseball on.
Yeah.
You can't say golf, so it's golf on.
Well, what about Jared? What do you mean? You want to watch Cal football? Probably won't exist anymore.
I was trying to get her to say golf yesterday, and she couldn't figure it out. But she's got a lot of other words like huge.
Yeah. Or we get Spider-Man, just points at the TV.
Spider-Man. Yeah, she does Spider-Man.
Yeah. Words are hard. Words will be hard for a lot of their lives. And, it's just one of those things where, if you're me, definitely. I mean,
for some,
words aren't hard. Name pronunciation,
impossible. Can't do it. I'm going to need a phonetic spelling every single time I see it. It's just hard for me to put. I think that 35% of the time I'll look at that name and I'll get it. I'm Happer, right? Hard to mess that up.
I don't know. You'd be surprised.
What?
Not you. You've been called Haper?
No. They'll just insert a letter that doesn't exist.
They'll
either be like Happier or Hapner or Hopper or Hooper. Or Harper is a very popular one.
You get?
Oh yeah, our big voice guy did Harper.
Colin Harper.
Nobody knows how to spell it. It's easy enough to pronounce.
I feel like it's.
But there's like a million spellings.
SCHAEFER.
Yeah, but there's
a lot of people
get rid of an
F's.
E, you get rid of the C, or like
a lot of different spellings of shape.
I just get really annoyed when I see first names that are spelled differently for no reason. It's like, why do we have to spell Jeff with a G? You know, why do we have to be this way? It's just JEFF. It's not that big of a deal.
It's a name.
I know, but we say it the same way. It just kind of irks me. I just get irked.
So, which Connor do you get mad at? ERs or ORs?
Or
ERs.
C's or K's?
C's or K's?
K's for sure.
Connor Griffin.
What's your preferred version of Zach?
ZACK. But I don't
ZACK.
CK.
Oh, see, I like a ZACH.
But I don't get mad about the CH or the ZK. Now,
what if it's ZAK?
Oh God, no. God, no. Get out of here.
They exist.
That's ridiculous.
Zach
Like,
Taylor.
I don't know, like I'm more of an HAYLEEY for Haley, not so much of an HAILEY.
HALEIGH.
Oh no.
I knew a EIGH and I was like, no.
Or how about I've seen a Riley.
True story.
I've seen a Riley. I know a Riley that is RYLEIGH.
Oh, ooh, I don't think I've seen that one before.
Riley. But I'm like, wouldn't it be Riley? Wouldn't you be Riley? Riley, not Riley.
What about RILE?
Get
I had a friend that dated one.
She was cute. The one that I knew that was like that.
Don't let that cloud your vision.
RYLY. Have you ever seen a Riley with RYLY?
I'm sure it exists.
Yeah.
Riley.
I do not have experience.
And all these Rileys are going to Starbucks and
They
they're
are
like,
seven
why
of
can't they ever spell my name right?
Yeah. Classic. Take a picture of the barista of the cup. Put it on your Snapchat story. Yeah. See, I'm now I've switched in recent years though. I'm definitely a DILLON guy now. You know.
Oh wait,
Okay.
Is this in honor of Dylon?
Yes,
you're mad at Dylon, so you're
DILLON.
You're out on the spelling of the name.
Out on the spelling of the name entirely.
There's a lot of ways to do that one too. DILLON, probably a DILON.
Oh, just that is Dylon.
DYLAN.
What is it? The Nationals have an outfielder that's name is
Yes.
Dylan, and it's spelled different than I think any other version I've ever seen. So.
Yeah, there's people have done different things with Dylan's recently.
How about like
Dylan's having a
moment? DAYLEN.
No, Dalen.
I think it's pronounced Dylan.
As a Dylan, yeah.
Okay,
LILE is his last name.
Christian Brown, right? But it's BRAUN.
Yeah, that's the last name.
That's just I know, but that's just incorrect.
You don't get to pick.
No, that's incorrect.
I mean, like maybe like a few generations ago they got the pick.
Well, when they came over in order to avoid the sort of thing that you're doing now, they would change their last name, so they could Americanize it and give up their entire heritage, so they wouldn't be picked upon.
That happened to me.
Yeah, I know. You should be sympathetic to it.
We were Mac masters,
and now you're mad at Christian Brown for spelling his name "quote unquote" wrong.
He's pronouncing his name wrong. It's Braun.
Oh, well, I mean,
that becomes its own thing too.
Maybe.
I see what you're saying.
Would you have rather been Mac Masters than Mick Master?
No, it's great for the radio. Matt McMaster, way better radio name than Mac Master. So it worked out pretty well for me. I don't know.
Better than what?
Mac
Master.
They dropped the
But I would have been just my entire life. I would be Mac. I would just be called Mac.
Well, that's kind of cool.
I'm okay. I'm fine. I like Maddie Mac though. Sometimes people call me that. Maddie Mac, Maddie Mick. It's more of a high school nickname than a regular adult nickname.
They ever call you Mick Matt?
No. No, I've never heard that one before.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good one. No, just Mick and then put your favorite adjective or noun or verb. Or
remember in the first days of NIL when they had the everybody had a logo.
The innocent days of NIL.
Yeah.
Matt, yours would be
when it was about building your brand.
McDonald's arches.
No, I think I would have two M's on top of each other with the C.
You'd be Big Arch.
Big Arch.
Oh,
I call you Big Arch.
I call him Big Arch.
I had the Big Arch. It
Me
was
too.
A very average burger.
Oh, I thought it was good.
It was fine. It was a burger.
I was fine with it. I don't know how often I would get it.
Let me tell you this.
I liked it, but it was too expensive.
Yes, it was so expensive. The Big Arch, kind of too big.
Oh.
I mean,
Is this the Popeyes chicken sandwich, but your version?
A little bit, yeah. I was just too much of a burger. And by the way,
I vibe with you. I didn't feel that on the big arch, but I get what you're saying.
By the way,
the way that registered in your eyes was unbelievable.
Can I say this real quick too?
Please.
I think Popeye's chicken sandwich is too big of a sandwich. I do.
So you've now changed?
No, I think they're both too bigs of sandwiches.
I just don't like when things get.
That was a Connor Island.
If I gotta
That
really,
was a me, yeah.
if I gotta really open up my mouth, like I gotta really go top to bottom to eat something, it's too big.
See, the thing is, like, I don't actually care about how big the sandwich is. I just think that some restaurants make things senselessly big because they want to put it on Instagram and get popularity, and that's what triggers me the most. And I it's not actually about how big it is. It's not about size.
Yeah.
Some would say.
And I think the people who don't think it's about size are some of the more intelligent people that I know.
Exactly. They're geniuses.
It's just really more about performance. And in terms of the big arch, the performance of the burger, I don't think was good enough to mitigate how big it was. And at times,
so you don't want
I really liked the burger. I really liked it.
I didn't hate it. I don't think it was bad.
The crispy onions.
I wasn't blown away. Now I will say this: the Big Mac is not what it used to be. I hate being this guy. I hate being the it's not what it used to be guy, because I just feel like I'm always surrounded by it's not what it used to be people. But like the Big Mac is not what it used to be. The Big Mac used to be an impeccable burger that I would have once a week.
What would you say happened?
I think we got a little bit too the meat is a little bit too thin.
So now it's too small.
The meat got a little bit too thin. It's not as high quality of what it used to be.
Now you're the one that's doing the sizing.
I don't think we're properly distributing the mac sauce as we used to. I think we're just being sloppy with the cheese and sloppy with the sauce. And then there's something about the bread. The Big Mac was so beautiful because it was a big burger, but it still held its integrity. Now I feel like the middle burger is slipping and sliding.
Can I proffer a theory?
Yeah.
You grew up and McDonald's became less appetizing.
Ooh.
Because that's what happens when you grow up. You're a child, McDonald's rocks.
No, but I was eating McDonald's probably once a week until last year. But recently I haven't had McDonald's in 6 months. I think it's more of a
other than he had it last week for breakfast.
That is true. I did have it last week.
And the Big Mac got worse.
The Big Arch. Yeah. That was a lie. I probably haven't had it in like
2 weeks.
Yeah. I don't have it.
It feels like 6 months. Because you're 24.
I just haven't had it nearly as much as what I used to have it. The rate is a lot.
That's
lower.
Good.
And I think it has become unappetizing. You are correct. But it's become unappetizing and the Big Mac has gotten worse. Also, Long John's at Dunkin' Donuts used to be awesome. Taking a major step back.
I definitely thought you were talking about Long John Silver's.
Me too.
I was like, they combined with Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh,
that's horrifying.
That's where I was at right now.
Yeah. So all three of us went the same direction on that.
I thought you were going to talk about Long John Silver's.
I've never had Long John Silver's before.
So Long John Silver's famously had like combined up with A&W, and there weren't
KFC.
like a lot of like standalone Long John Silver's. Because their parent company just combined them with other things to save money.
Yeah.
And so then I thought that I had missed somewhere that Long John Silver's and Dunkin' were the latest collaboration, and it horrified me.
This is not me being young. This is just me not being around it. I didn't know that A&W was a place to go and eat until I was like 18.
Yeah.
There's probably not many in the Chicagoland area.
Zero.
Unlike the 75-ounce beef.
We went on a road trip. We went on a road trip to Wisconsin, and we pulled up at an A&W restaurant. When I was 18, I was like, "What is this? The root beer?"
You're probably like, "Where's the Barks?"
Yeah.
I'd like a Barks, please.
I prefer Barks over A&W, for being honest.
Can we work out a trade where we give one of our A&Ws to Chicago and they give us an Al's beef?
Yes.
You got a deal.
Yes.
We'll take one of your 75 Al's.
There's 6 of them. 6 of them. My mom talked about that to me. She was like, "That was really funny, but like, why didn't he just get there was only 6?"
No, there's more than that.
Saying there was 75, and I was like, "I know, that's just Connor." She's like, "He's funny."
Well, thank you. And I think there's a lot of them.
A lot of people that think you're funny.
No, there's a lot of Al's beef.
I've shown you the website.
More Al's beef, for sure.
There might be some Al's. You should make some Al's beef,
especially this week. People are gonna hate me this week.
Why?
Because it's another one of those weeks where Creighton and Nebraska have to play each other a bunch. and a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And people are going to,
Bread steak.
Yeah. I'll be very visible.
Our guy's hot right now. He's killing it.
Yeah. I'm waiting for him to get the Big East Player of the Week.
Did. I got a little mad on Friday.
4 home runs in 5 games.
I got a little mad on Friday. Cranked one out to left field. I was there. I was at the game. I was just like, I don't know if to cheer or to be like, dang it. You know.
I think you should be happy for your neighbor. You should be happy for your neighbor.
So you just wandered over on Friday to the Seton Hall Creighton baseball game?
I was offered tickets. There were club seat tickets that I was given. I got a text.
Look, I know you live downtown, so it's probably not a far walk.
No, my friend, she was just like, hey, I got 2 club seat tickets. And I was just like, cool. And we went up to the club seats and we watched the game. Platonic friends. There was no finger locking during the baseball game.
Nobody asked.
Well, there are a lot of people here that are like Matt goes somewhere with a girl and they immediately be like, they jump to.
Well, I was wondering more about the stinky baseball team. And by stinky, I mean the food they cook, not their play on the field.
Yeah,
which has been enhanced.
It has
the
been
food
enhanced.
that they cook.
Well, now they're opening up the window, when they make the food, and so
Sure.
we're getting less smell. And I think that
They're maturing.
It's got to correlate to success.
They're maturing
right?
as a team. They're starting to come together from a team perspective, and they're maturing with their smells.
Yeah, they now have the window, the blinds a little open. They have the blinds open all the time now, and open up the window to make sure that it just gets out into the ether as opposed to seeking through our
like the pitching is really coming around.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
They're using their heads, right? And honestly, too, I'm a little concerned that maybe the smell was getting into their lungs and keeping their cardio down a little bit. Now that they're getting fresh air, they're faster on the field.
It's possible.
It is very possible. Guys, this was great. Had a great time. Great talking to you both. The crossover is powered by Everlova Concrete Repair in Omaha and everlovaconcrete.com. It is Matt. Coming up next here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
That's an absolutely horse crap call. Make room for Daddy. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Chicago is.
This is Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays Matt live and rolling here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network. Matt McMaster, as always, joined by Mr. Josh Odson in your Seattle Kraken polo today. How's the Crack Wagon doing?
They got eliminated from the playoffs. So.
They did. Big games coming up in the NHL tonight, by the way. The Philadelphia Flyers are in action today. Just real quick, not that really anybody cares. If they win today, by the way, the Philadelphia Flyers, they're probably going to end up making the playoffs, which would be very, very big for them as they take on a very good Carolina Hurricanes team. I've been watching a lot of hockey this year, but not following the league. Does that make any sense? I probably watch 3 hockey games a week.
Okay.
But I just don't really like. Mm-hmm. Like I know who's good and I know who's bad and I know who the good players are. Like I'm probably like casual minus when it comes to hockey. But it's just like one of those things. Do you have a sport like that where it's just like you watch it because you enjoy it, but like what happens within the league and who wins awards and who ends up winning the Stanley Cup outside of your team that you root for, like you really care about? I don't. I just like watching hockey. I just put hockey on. I'm like, oh, hockey's going on. It's great. I don't think there's really another sport like that.
I mean,
do you do that with NBA basketball?
That was kind of where I was leaning.
But like that's the one thing that the NBA has over all of these leagues. You see, and baseball too. You see them. Like it's tough for hockey, and it's even though the NFL is so massively popular. Hockey. Well, you're behind a mask, you're behind a helmet. Same thing with like football, where it's like these guys make so much money, and the NFL is so massive. But like there are casual fans who probably could look at some of the best players in the NFL and have no idea that they're walking around because they're behind a helmet. I don't know. I think the NBA, it's kind of harder to do that because you see the guys like playing clear as day. By the way, watch a little Boston Celtic basketball yesterday. Did not have their best players, and yet what an embarrassing loss.
Yeah,
the Orlando Magic.
Boy, Orlando better win that little play-in weirdo game that they're playing because you're going to get fired if you don't.
Baylor Shireman, what a game from the young man yesterday.
30-burger.
Dude, looked like the best player on the court, and there were some dudes
even with that hair.
Magic team. I know, but you know what? Baylor Shireman is the perfect Boston basketball player.
Yes,
he is.
This is a great take.
The hair, the goatee, the complexion, the weird kind of tattoos on his arms where like they don't make a ton of sense, but they're pretty cool.
They're not
like,
cohesive,
like
but
they do. But they rock, which by the way, I hope Schaefer and Happer are listening right now, whether it be in their car,
not
whether it be in the back. What do you mean? We listen to their show.
Yeah, we're good teammates.
They listen to our show. We get text messages sometimes.
They're probably listening to Bill Simmons.
No, that would be Josh Peterson. Peterson never listens to the radio live, but he goes back and he listens to radio replays. He does not listen to our rundown, so I know he's not going to hear me making fun of him about this.
Good.
But he doesn't listen to us live on the radio.
He cherry picks the segments. That's fine. That's fine.
He does cherry pick the segments, and he also does cherry pick when he like comes on the stream to see when we're done. And then that's when he like types. Anyway, I hope they're listening because, and you're folded into this as well. Your generation's tattoos were awesome.
My generation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Gen X to millennials tattoos, sick. Skulls, bones, black clouds, nice fade, right? You guys would get like dragon tattoos or like tiger tattoos or just, maybe a lot of religious tattoos too, crosses and like real art, right? Like
a lot of barbed wire.
Yeah, a ton of barbed wire. I dressed up as Brian Urlacher for Halloween, and you're damn right. I took a little Sharpie and had a barbed wire tattoo across my arm, right? It's just a lot. You guys were awesome with your tattoos. My generation's tattoos, soft. embarrassing.
Oh, no.
We get wings and clouds and forest and koi fish, you know. It's just like, you know, one of those things where it's like like the sticker book tattoos, you know, like the small little tattoos. Like
Very popular
they're not
now.
sleeves, right? But they're just little tiny tattoos everywhere, not cohesive at all. It sucks.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of money to get a sleeve. Why don't I just get 400 tiny tattoos on my arm instead?
Tattoos need to go back to being 2004 again. All right. We need to go back to getting 1990s tattoos. We need to go back to getting our just these ridiculous looking creatures and skulls and crosses and bones and whatnot. Do you know who does that? Do that? Baylor Shireman. Looks like the most Boston basketball player in the history of Boston basketball. Big win for the Celtics yesterday. Away playing game now for the Orlando Magic. If they ended up beating a Boston Celtic team that didn't have Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum, they would have a home playing game, but instead they are away.
Could go on the road and play the Embiidless 76ers.
Yeah.
Because it's a game of significance, so Joel Embiid will not be participating.
I'm listening to The 90s by Chuck Klosterman.
Okay.
And he just did something about college football. He was talking about college football and like the bowl systems and how it was kind of illogical. And we went to having logical now solutions in college football when it came to crowning a national champion. But it really was, we now realize retrospectively that college football would have been better or was better when we were illogical with how we used to crown national champions. And the fact that the bowl system mattered as much didn't make a ton of sense then, but now we kind of yearn for it now. But the 90s was a time when things didn't need to make sense. I was thinking, so now I'm reading this book and I'm thinking like, if we were to write a book on the 2020s, right? If I were to be the author of the 2020s, like what are some of the things?
You should do that, by the way.
No, I don't think I'm fit enough. I'm not like a 2020 guy enough to like write that book. Like you
just
have to
Chat GPT do it. That's what other stations
Well, you know
do.
what? That would make sense for a 2020s book. Like you have to be fully into the gesture maxing and frame mogging and all that type of stupid stuff that people in the 2020s do.
I don't know what those words mean.
Exactly. I don't either. I don't give a damn. Okay. So I wouldn't be fit to write this book, but it had me thinking, like, if we were to write a book about the 2020s of sports, what are the 2020s really known for in terms of the sports? Now, this is a little off because some of this happened in 2019. 2020 is like the era of expanding the playoffs. Just everybody gets in now. We've just, in the 2020s, all we've ever done is just make the playoffs more accessible for people to get into. We expanded the MLB playoffs. We expanded the college football playoffs. We're going to expand the NCAA basketball playoffs. We've expanded the NBA playoffs. The only playoff we haven't expanded is the NHL.
It's the only games y'all watch, our playoff games.
It's ridiculous.
We heard you like playoff games, so we made the whole thing a playoff.
We went from 16 teams in the NBA to 20 teams. We went from 12 teams in the NFL to 14 teams. We went from 12 teams in the MLB to 14 teams. We went from 4 teams to 12 teams in college football. We're now going to go probably at some point to 16. It could get as high as 24, which would be a catastrophe. And now we're probably going to go from 68 to 76 in the NCAA basketball tournament. Stop expanding the playoffs. We don't need more playoff teams. That's why the NHL has to stand pat. They have just stood there and they've done nothing. Their playoffs are still awesome. And we still talk about them as the guiding light. Now,
seating's a little wonky, but
dude, the minute they did this Metropolitan Pacific BS, why don't we just do 1 through 8? It didn't matter.
Great take, Matt.
Also, too, like the whole regional playoffs. Or regional playoffs, and you can have better rivalries. Man, rivalries are great when they're just natural, right? Like the Blackhawks and the Vancouver Canucks were rivals in the 2010s. All right, they had nothing to do with how close they were together or anything like that. They always played each other in the playoffs. The Canucks were always awesome. The Blackhawks were always awesome. If you were going to get to the Stanley Cup, or if you were going to like make a run of the playoffs, you were going to have to beat the Canucks, and the Canucks were going to have to beat the Blackhawks. That's how you naturally grow to hate a team.
Familiarity breeds contempt.
Exactly. Right? Does it happen in a perfect way where you get the Red Wings and Blackhawks? Yeah. But the Red Wings and Blackhawks rivalry kind of spawned because there weren't that many teams in the NHL at the time. So you always had to play each other. So just seed it 1 through 8. I totally agree with that. Now, I do worry sometimes that the NHL playoffs can be like Maction, where everybody is claiming that they watch the NHL playoffs and that they love the NHL playoffs and that the hockey playoffs are the best. But how many games are you actually watching? Are you actually watching the San Jose Sharks take on the Las Vegas Knights at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday?
I am, because it's probably during #Josh time. But yeah.
When is #Josh?
Usually starts really gets going about 10:30 to midnight.
You go to bed pretty late.
Yeah. I got a lot to do.
I send you that text at like 11:45 and it gets read. And I was like, wow, this is awesome.
I read it.
Like a co-host who knows what I want to talk about. It's insane.
You sent it a little early yesterday.
I did.
And you said you did. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to back off.
How worried would you have been if that was the only thing we were going? I send you a text and there was only one topic. If that was if we were only going to talk about the Masters the entire show today, how would you feel?
Better than normal, because I actually watched Sunday.
We are going to talk about the Masters. We actually have two parts on the Masters today.
2 Masters topics?
No, 2 Masters. Yes, actually. 2 Masters topics, 1 Masters segment, though.
Okay.
2 topics, 1 segment. Una silla, dos personas. Okay?
Whoa.
2 people, 1 chair, for the translation of those who don't know Spanish.
Thank you.
2 Masters slants, 1 Masters segment. We're going to talk about Rory McIlroy. Was it unfair what he did? Did he cheat?
Whoa.
Should the rules be changed? Do you know what I'm talking about here?
No, I guess I don't.
He actively skipped the final 3 events of the PGA Tour.
Oh, yes.
To then go and play at Augusta
He's
for
got
those
a plane.
3 weeks. And then he literally said in a press conference, and I guess I'm bearing the lead here, but we'll say it again when we go and talk about it. He literally said, yeah, I didn't play in the last 3 tournaments, not because of a rest thing. Like, it wasn't a rest thing. I wasn't trying to rest or anything.
I'm trying to win the Masters.
He's like, I just found it better to go to Augusta and play there. Look, man, like, we're going to have a discussion about it. It's not illegal what he did, but I do think you're going to have to change that. I really do think we should make rules about this now, because
X number of events.
I
mean, he's a former champion. He's in forever.
But here's the thing. So, like, I can't act as if I know the rules. Now, I do know this. You cannot play at Augusta unless you are with a member, even if you're a Masters champion. And the reason why I know this is because Sir Nick Faldo said on an interview, he goes, I can't just go and play at Augusta. I still have to go and play with a member. Now, I think
there's only like 2 members of the PGA Tour that are members of Augusta or something like that. I read that over the weekend.
Now, I do know this. If Sir Nick Faldo asks you, hey, can we play Augusta together? You think a member is going to tell him no, right? Same thing with Rory. Same thing with these guys who are former Masters champions. But I definitely do think it's something that, like, not everybody has access to. And it could be an unfair advantage. And additionally, what if, like, more guys are like, all right, screw it, I'm not going to the Valero Texas Open. I'm going to go and play Augusta to, like, get ready for the event. What if a guy's like, oh, I'm not going to play in the Houston Texas Open. I'm going to go and play at Augusta, because that's what Rory did. I think it could potentially set a bad precedent. But I'm willing to have a conversation with people. It's an opinion that I have that I'm willing, if you are against it, if you're completely like, no, he should be able to play, you're being soft, tell me I'm soft. 402-951-1620. That's the Prairie Flower Zone Casino hotline. Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more. And if you think I'm really soft, you can email us at the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Always pick up on the first ring. Old man Doug, shout out. So we'll talk about the Masters. We'll talk about Rory. We'll talk about Scotty. We'll talk about that budding rivalry. We'll also touch on some Nebraska football today. Ryan Day is talking. I kind of love it. Like, during the spring, we'll just randomly get interviews and drops and quotes from coaches, you know, whether it be spring football going on or they just happen to be on a national college football show, which, thinking about that, good article from Sean Callahan over the weekend, kind of pointing out that there are less and less spring games that are being televised, and that there are less and less spring games that are being propped up. Like, we used to have spring games on, like, Big Fox, and now we're at the point where only a handful of them are being televised. The attendance of spring games are going down. It was a good mention there. We got to talk to Brett Ciancia we have spring football wrapping up, and the transfer portal is done. Typically, Brett of Pick Six Previews, who we will have on during the college football season every single week, typically he's kind of got to wait and see because of the spring transfer portal window, right? You kind of have to see what the next kind of wave of guys entering the portal is and what late additions teams might make. Now, typically the spring portal was less impactful at times, more often than not, than the winter portal. But I know that Brett is probably doing some hard work right now, and so we got to get him on to get some updates. But Ryan Day talked about Ohio State football and his team and his identity, and it begged the question for me, what is Nebraska football's identity? We're in year 4 of Matt Rule. What can Nebraska football hang their hat on? What is Nebraska football great at? What does Nebraska football exceed at? And was there something that occurred that may have derailed the original vision of Nebraska football and their identity? Is there something that happened that might have pushed the train off the tracks from where Nebraska football wanted to head when Matt Rule first got here in 2023? What is that thing? And can they recover from that thing heading in 2026? Or is this schedule too hard for Nebraska football to find an identity? That's a serious question to ask. If you're playing teams and you're consistently, you're playing teams that are way better than you and you're losing by wide margins, how can you find an identity? Did the easier schedules of the first couple of seasons of Nebraska football, were they perfect runways for Nebraska football to find their identity? And did they blow that because of things that happened, decisions that happened? What are those decisions? We'll talk about that. We'll also go ahead, break down the college basketball portal from across the country. Louisville. What is NIL Go is my question. Apparently, we're supposed to have a clearinghouse, and third-party NIL is supposed to be, pay, like you pay for goods, you pay for services, and you don't just hand out money all willy-nilly. I don't know, man. With all of the money that's being handed out from organization to organization, athletic department to athletic department, I just feel like there's just no way that we're going to get these deals done in the way that the NIL Go or the third-party NIL agreements were supposed to be done when the House settlement was signed. It just doesn't seem like we're heading that way. And I don't know. We're still. I always want to put it out there. Every week we're going to mention it. Like this Nebraska football case, where you have 18 Nebraska football members that are basically in an arbitration case against NIL Go, is going to mean a lot for college sports, because if the type of deals that Nebraska football, if Nebraska football can't get those types of deals are throughout the country everywhere. And that means that there's going to be a whole heap of players across the nation that might not get their money. But Louisville's spending some big bucks right now in the transfer portal. I'll tell you all about that. Surprise, surprise. Illinois got another Balkan.
Well,
who could have ever seen this coming? Guy from Estonia.
Like the salmon of Capistrano.
What? Is that a movie reference?
It's a lot of references in one.
Sometimes you say things and I don't know. It's just random words all at once, and I just kind of assume it's from a movie that I've never seen. Is that a safe assumption?
Yeah, I would say so. Just speaking in generalities, yeah.
I didn't watch another movie this weekend, unfortunately.
You didn't? You didn't finish Gladiator?
I did. Oh, yeah. He died. I didn't know he died.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Okay.
I was a little shocked. I was like, he dies? Really? But then I found out Gladiator 2 is about Lucius, the little kid, and he grows. What a lazy plot line. Yeah. Really?
It's why so many people who have encouraged you to watch Gladiator have admitted, I haven't watched Gladiator.
You know what? I don't think we don't appreciate the Creed movies enough.
Oh.
Because the Creed movies have done what more movies should have done. Where the Creed movies weren't Rocky 6, Rocky 7, Rocky 8. But there definitely is the inspiration from Rocky. But yet it's its own story.
Mm-hmm.
You can sell the Creed movies as an arm of Rocky, and you can benefit, right, from a marketing perspective and from an interest perspective, doing what Creed did. But you don't have to make the same movies, or you don't have to be tied down to the same themes and just make a worse version of the movies you were previously. Creed is Creed.
Unless it's Creed 2, and then you, for some reason, chose to drive into the skid and weigh yourself down with mythology and the Rocky series.
Yes. But then Creed 3, But Creed 3 completely pivoted and was like, this is what we're doing. Which then, I don't know. I think Jonathan Majors gave a pretty weak performance in Creed.
He might have had some other stuff going on at the time.
Might have had some other stuff going on. Good point, Josh. We'll also talk about Cal Athletics. They got some stuff going on. We'll talk about Wisconsin Athletics. They got some stuff going on. We'll talk about Nebraska baseball, Nebraska softball. They definitely have some stuff going on. Nebraska baseball, 1-2 over the weekend against Oregon. Hell of a series, though. Close battles. Not that, it's funny when Nebraska, and everything now gets compared to Nebraska basketball. But when Nebraska basketball played Illinois, when Nebraska basketball played Michigan State, when they played those top teams and they had their biggest test of the season, there always was the, what if they get blown out? What if they get their ass kicked? What if they end up just being a fraud? I didn't feel this way at all with this Oregon series. I think there has been so many games in Nebraska baseball had just proven over and over and over again heading into the series that, no, there's not a question of whether or not they can compete. They just played some really competitive baseball against a very competitive team that could end up hosting a regional. The Big Ten could end up having 3 teams host a regional this year. It was a great article. Not bad at all. So we'll talk about Nebraska baseball, Nebraska softball, college basketball portal, Nebraska basketball portal, Creighton basketball portal. Things are shaking and moving. We break all of that down here on Middays with Matt over the next about 3 hours. But coming up next, let's talk about the event over the weekend, the Masters, and the impact it had on golf. And are there some rule changes coming? We discussed that and more on Middays with Matt.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
We have a good tweet here on the Zone Twitter feed, which is powered by Liquid Trucking. Shout out Pesky Blues. We're going to save that tweet, though.
Oh,
Joel had a great tweet.
what a tweet. What a tease.
No, because it has to do with Nebraska football.
Oh, we're not talking about them right now.
No, not right now. We stick to teases here on Middays with Matt because we are a professional radio program.
Matt McTease.
Then we talk about it. I didn't tease Nebraska football last segment, so we're not going to talk about it. We'll talk about it when we talk about it. See, that's a tease because now I tease you when the tease is going to come. You don't even know when I'm going to tease you anymore.
There better be a payoff, though.
There's always a payoff.
Okay.
Also, too, I got a text in. I want to make this clear because some people hear me say things and they think it's a take. You're shaking your head because you're looking at the text line.
I'm actually not.
Okay. So this guy from the 402.
Hi, 402.
Goes, at 12 teams, the NFL had 38% of their league in the playoffs. They expanded to 14, almost half the league. That seems dumb. Yes, it is. He goes, but saying the college football playoffs is too big at 16 teams is absurd. It's not even remotely proportional to the NFL playoffs, even at 12 teams. To be proportional, the NFL at 12 would mean college football would have 48. Matt has some terrible takes. First off,
you got all that from we're expanding too many playoffs?
Thank you. I never proffered an opinion on whether or not it's too many teams, which, by the way, 10 toes down, 402, 16 teams is too many teams. All right? It is. I don't like 16 teams. I think 12 is fine. I thought 8 would have been perfect. 8 would have been ideal. We could have gotten it done right away. 1 play 8, 2 play 7. The math is easy. We don't have to deal with this whole bye BS, this bye week BS of like 25 days off, too many days off. Teams that have bye weeks are 1-7 in the college football playoffs. This is a problem we have to solve. We wouldn't have this problem if we just went to 8 teams.
I hate problems.
8 teams is perfect. 16 teams is too much. Also, too, if we want to do the whole math proportion thing, yes, college football has like 136 teams. How many of those teams, though, could actually win a national championship year in and year out? Right?
College basketball has like 350.
I know. Year in and year out, it's like a whole, like, year. Look, so year in and year out, in a 4-year span, you should be good enough to compete for a Super Bowl if you're a competent franchise. We see it happen over and over again. It takes teams 2, 3, 4 years to turn things around and automatically compete again. But there are just some teams in college football that will never win a national championship. Okay? Akron will never win a national championship.
Wow.
Bowling Green will never win a national championship. Tulane, North Texas, all these mid-major schools. Outside of, seriously, there's so many teams that can't win a college football national championship. They just never happen. And then there are even Power 5 teams that will never win a college football national championship. Northwestern will never win a college football national championship. Wow. That will never happen.
Sad for you.
Okay? So it's to say that it's like, oh, you're doing proportional. That's so dumb. So stupid. See, you called my argument stupid. Your argument's stupid. How about that? A little tit for tat there. Don't come at me foul when I didn't have a take I didn't have. That's the rules here. The rules are, too, that if you win the Masters, you can play at Augusta whenever you really want. Augusta national tee times are not available to just any golfer. And when you win the Masters, you are allowed, and you are kind of given the runway to have a tee time whenever you so choose. Now, I was looking up the rules online over the last couple of hours. I don't know. So Sir Nick Faldo, the 3-time Masters champion, and the man who won back-to-back green jackets back in the 90s.
Just like Rory.
Just like Rory did. Rory joins that crew with Nicklaus and Tiger Woods as a man to win back-to-back Masters. He did explain on a podcast that you still need to contact a member and golf with a member to play at Augusta National if you have a green jacket. I don't know if that's still true. There's nothing there that I found that that's still the case. But you have to imagine if you've won a green jacket and you can get a tee time whenever you so please, you probably, that's not a big hurdle that you have to jump over. So Rory McIlroy, admittingly, at a press conference, because we had this discussion about the live golfers, right? John Rahm didn't have a great tournament. Bryson DeChambeau collapsed, didn't even make the cut, had a terrible tournament. And we talked over and over again about, well, these live golfers are not playing well because they aren't playing enough. They only had 5 events heading into the Masters tournament. Rory McIlroy only played 4 events heading into the Masters tournament. Only played 4 times. Had the 3 weeks heading into the tournament, had not played on the PGA before he played at the Masters. And a lot of people were curious as to why is that? Is he resting? Is Rory, resting up? Is he not trying to overexpose himself before he gets to the Masters? No. Rory revealed at a press conference, no, I actually skipped those 3 events because I'll just take the private jet and I'll fly to Augusta and I'll practice here at Augusta. And I'll get ready for the tournament here, leading up, playing the course, learning new shots. Because look, the Masters, it's not a course that Augusta National is not a course that you can overpower. Augusta National is not a course that, I hit long and I hit far. I'm just going to be able to cut this down. No, you have to be creative. You have to understand the greens. You have to understand the speed. You have to understand the angles. You have to understand when to go for the hole. You have to understand when to take your medicine and just hit in the middle of the green, right? There's a lot that goes into winning the Masters. And a lot of it is experience, which is why we see so many winners have to have 4, 5, 6 different appearances before they end up winning the Masters. I mean, Fuzzy Zellers was the last guy to win his Masters debut. That was 50 years ago. And so just playing the course more and understanding the course more makes you way more able to win the Masters. And some guys only have the luxury of playing Augusta in April. They only have the luxury of playing Augusta National Golf Course when they're at the Masters. And so Rory went ahead and said, no, I'm not going to do the final 3 PGA Tour events, and I'm just going to go to Augusta. He admitted that he would pick his daughter up from work, drop her off at home, take a private jet to Augusta, play around, then come back for dinner. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Give credit to Rory. Number one, he's earned the right.
Sweet life.
He's earned the right to play at Augusta whenever he so pleased. It's not like he's the only one that can do this. Scotty Scheffler can do this. Adam Scott can do this. Jordan Spieth can do this. There's a whole plethora of guys who've won the Masters who have this same luxury that they can go and practice before they play in the big tournament. So it's not like he has this unfair advantage that's only for him. Other guys have this advantage. And he spent a lot of money to do this. Because you got to think of it 2 ways. Not only did he spend a lot of money to take a private jet out there and pay for those flights and pay for this jet fuel and pay for all this stuff and make the travel and whatnot. It's not like that's cheap, by the way, to go and get all that done. But he also gave up a lot of potential money by playing at these tournaments, right? He left literally millions of dollars on the table, not playing these events that he could have won or finished highly in and made a lot of money. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave all this money on the table to go and practice at Augusta to give myself the best chance to win the Masters tournament.
$22.5 million purse yesterday.
So probably made up a lot of it. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing, Josh, right? It's not like no one else could have done this and there wasn't some sort of sacrifice for Rory to do this, right? I mean, let's just say Rory goes out, he does all this, he skips these events, and he has a terrible, terrible round. He misses a lot of shots. He doesn't make the cut. That's a lot of money that he wasted to try and do this, right? In a way, it's a bit of a risk to do this. At the same time, though, man, what an advantage it is to be able to play this course day in and day out, week in and week out, to just understand the nuances of it, understand what the wind does at different situations, understand how the elements affect certain shots, understand, okay, Rory hit, I think it was on the 12th hole where he missed the drive, day in and day, he missed it all 3 rounds, but he knew, even though he missed the drive into the woods every single time, he still birdied the hole, right? And so just to understand, the course to its fullest extent is a massive advantage to have. And
you know how the course is playing, right?
Yeah. And there's a lot of the field that can't do that. They don't have that luxury of doing that. And so, look, am I saying that Rory cheated? Absolutely not. He did not cheat. He's allowed to do that, right? He invested a lot of money to do that. He saw an opportunity to give himself a massive advantage heading into that tournament. And he did it. I don't have a problem with him doing it this time. I do think, though, the PGA Tour or Augusta or whoever the powers may be, and it's mainly Augusta, it's not USA Golf, Augusta has to think about whether or not they should continue to allow this or maybe limit this in a way. Maybe you say, hey, only a week before, only 10 days before the tournament, you can do this. Some sort of limiting device, because I think if you're Scotty Scheffler heading into the Masters next go around and you're a green jacket winner, why wouldn't you do the same exact thing? Why wouldn't you sit out the last 3 PGA Tour events and go and play at Augusta?
I mean, you're going to have a bunch of guys trying it next year, right?
Exactly. And so now you're taking away top golfers from these PGA Tour events that are leading up to the Masters.
That's what I was trying to look up.
And then on top of that, you're going to have, it's going to be way harder to have new Masters winners, right? Because you have all these previous Masters winners that are practicing so it's one of those things where, is it impossible for a new Masters winner to occur? No, it's not. Is it cheating what Rory McIlroy did? No, it's not. But I do think you got to be a little bit careful when you're allowing certain people's.
Got to be careful here.
You got to be a little bit careful here when we're allowing certain individuals to have this big advantage heading into a massive tournament. We got to monitor it just a little bit, in my opinion, right? It's almost as if hey, maybe this is a bad example. I can't really think of a better example right now. But let's say the Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl.
Chance, I'm so happy for you.
And the Kansas City Chiefs, because they've won the Super Bowl and because they have a Lombardi, they get to walk on the turf and, feel what the playing surface feels like. And, maybe the paint isn't great here. Maybe we don't throw, I don't know. It's a bad example, but you get what I'm saying, right?
It is a bad example, but yes, I understand.
Where you thank you for keeping me honest. I can't really think of a better example at the time right now, but where you allow a former champion to get a complete lay of the land, and then everybody else in a majority of the field doesn't get that same advantage. It's tough. So do I think Rory cheated? No. Do I think it's the biggest deal? No. Do I think it's something to monitor if you're Augusta? I think if it's something to keep your eye on. If you're the PGA, it's something that maybe there should be a conversation about. Yes, I would say so. I would totally say so, because it is a big deal. It's a very big deal that Rory McIlroy said, yeah, to hell with the 3 events. And it's not like he literally said, I don't like playing in those events. He's like, I don't really like those events. I was like, I'm better off just going to Augusta. That's something to keep an eye on.
If Valspar would like to sponsor me to play their tournament instead of Rory, I would be happy to oblige.
Okay. So here's a headline from Robbie Calland of CBS Sports. Masters 2026. Rory McIlroy secures place as greatest of his generation. And best of all, he's not done yet. Some people still know how business is done.
That was a hell of a long headline.
It is 3 lines of headline. It's not.
They say journalism's dying.
Yeah. Some practices, some lines are being real blurred.
Look, everybody only reads the headline, so we got to put everything into the headline.
It's a headline, not headlines.
Yeah.
Right?
Good point.
If I say headlines, that's multiple headlines.
Yes, I think I follow.
You shouldn't have multiple lines in your headline. Right. It's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, so Calland basically is talking about, look, he's won his 6th major. There's only so many other guys that have 6 majors. There's no one other than Tiger that's won as many as Rory in this time, so on and so forth.
We talked about this Thursday, right? Like him getting the Masters monkey off his back. It's either going to open him up and he's going to play free and rattle off a whole bunch, or he's going to go, I got nothing left to prove, and coast.
Everybody else kind of, I don't want to say collapsed, but everybody else just was dormant in that last 9 holes. The pressure got to him. Justin Rose, Justin Rose. I don't know how many more times you can come that close and have those opportunities. I mean, he had some big opportunity, not just on Sunday. If you were watching Saturday, he had some really makeable birdie putts. I thought that he could have easily had the lead heading into Masters Sunday, let alone being down 3 strokes. He still played very well and still ended up, being third. That par putt he missed, though, on the 17th. What the hell was he doing? Ridiculous. Anyway. So this guy who knows a lot about golf, probably more so than me, is claiming that Rory is the greatest of his generation. I don't think it's done yet.
Okay.
I don't think it's done yet. Because first off, what you have to remember is Rory went like 10 years without winning a major. I mean, there was a time where, and we talked about it when he won the Masters last year, where it was like, oh, it's only a matter of time before he wins the Masters too. Will he ever do it? And so, I mean, like, I understand that, Tom Brady went a decade without winning a Super Bowl, right?
People forget.
These now that's team sport. That more happens so in team sport than individual sport. But he went a whole decade without winning one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's won 2 in the last 2 years, and that's great. And he has been, it was about 3 years ago is when he really started to emerge as, hey man, he's back. He's in full form. He's number 1 golfer in the world. Like Rory McIlroy, he's gonna win a couple more. Where for a little bit, it was touch and go on whether or not it was just a magical run he had early on in his career. Where no, he's firmly back to being one of the best golfers in the world. But
Scotty's probably on line 1. He'd like a word.
I don't want to call it yet. And it's exactly because of Scotty. He's won 2 Masters. He's won the PGA Championship. He won the Open Championship. Won two majors last year. Won 2 majors.
He's got to get that U.S. Open monkey
right?
off his back.
Like it's one of those things where this guy in the last 3 years has won 4 majors.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be very foolish of golf and the media within golf to call this race right now. I think it would be very foolish. I think what the media needs to do and what golf needs to do is not go, oh, it's Rory's generation. Oh, he won 6 majors. No, you need to pit these guys up against each other. You need to pit Rory and Scotty up against one another. You need to start. Scotty needs to win another major, needs to get to 5, so we could start having a discussion. Rory or Scotty, Rory or Scotty, Rory or Scotty. They've won 4 of the last 5 Masters. 2022, 2024, 2025, 2026 has either been won by Rory or Scotty. We need to start.
Little Tiger Phil action.
We need this because this is how you build popularity in sport.
Instead of the NBA going, SGA is the guy. SGA is the guy. Why not? Are you an SGA guy or are you a Wemby guy?
Are you a Wemby guy?
Are you a Wemby guy? Or
yeah.
Are you an SGA guy?
Magic versus Larry.
Yeah.
Manning versus Brady. Federer versus Nadal. Gordon versus Earnhardt. Like this is how you build the popularity in the sport. And golf has seen this too, by the way. Mickelson versus Tiger. You brought that up. I mean, the very, very early like the dawn of golf almost. Sam Snead versus Ben Hogan. Right? Like that was the budding rivalry.
People forget.
Those two. We tried doing Brooks versus Bryson. We really tried pushing the Brooks versus Bryson. And the problem is that they didn't win enough. They didn't win the majors. Now, Brooks, to be fair, has got 5. Bryson's only got 1. But I'm not ready to call it. I don't think Scotty's ready to call it. I think Scotty, rolling the ball so well, could have shot a 65, could have easily been like a 63 on Saturday. Shot a 74. By the way, that's the 2nd year in a row where Scotty has a tough Friday, and it really deters him. It really messes him up. And he needed a mega Saturday just to put him in the conversation for Sunday. Last year, got caught in the wind in 2025, and that ended up costing him the tournament too, and he was still right there. But this whole Rory being the best golfer of the generation, for now. But I think if you're the PGA, I think if you're a golf fan, I think if you're a media member in golf, you are like, man, we need Scotty to win another one. Because if you can start having the Scotty versus Rory, are you team Scotty? Are you team Rory? Are you team Scheffler? Are you team McIlroy? If we could start having these heated debates, if we can start really pitting these guys against each other, and then we're walking into majors being like, hey, who's going to win, Scotty or Rory? We're not going to walk into a Masters next year with some awesome storylines. right? Like the Masters always brings great stories. And I think that to some people, not to a lot of people, not to me, but to some people it might be, repeat winner. Like we like it when new guys, when you have Rory put on the jacket of someone else and you see the emotion in Butler's cabin, right? Next year, though, is all going to be about, can Rory win a third? Can Scotty break through after 2 years of being right there? And can Justin Rose do it? Because once again, Justin Rose is knocking on the door of winning that Masters. And now, did you see the memes of Justin Rose at the Masters and it's Josh Allen throwing a football, right? Like it's like no. There's a lot of really, really bad memes coming in about Jay Rose, who had a one-shot lead, had a lead on the Sundays of the Masters, and just could not put himself in a position to get a ton of high-quality birdie putts. And when he did have those high-quality birdie putts, he missed them. But always the bridesmaid, never the brides for Justin Rhodes. Still incredible. The guy's 45 years old, still competing at the highest level of golf.
Hey, very quickly.
Go ahead.
I know this is probably something you don't care about at all and maybe even hadn't thought of. CBS.
Yeah, what about it?
I understand the final shot came very quickly. It was an easy tap in. Maybe let me see it.
I thought he missed it.
I thought he did too.
I legitimately thought he
because he just kind of stood there because it was a very obviously very makeable putt. It was like what, a couple inches.
I didn't hear it.
Simple tap in. Yeah, I didn't hear it, and he just kind of stood there and he didn't
move.
He didn't. I was like, oh my gosh.
So
did he miss it?
What I meant by I didn't hear it, there were people on Twitter saying Nance was visible or like vocally upset. Like you could hear that Nance wasn't very happy on the call, but the angle was the angle. That's what some people were claiming.
Oh.
I haven't.
That wouldn't shock me.
I haven't gone back and listened to it. It wouldn't shock me either. God, a true bred broadcaster like Jim Nance being upset that you don't have the proper angle on a big. By the way, like the Masters is Jim Nance's thing. Yeah. Like that's his baby. Like he loves being like, yeah, back in 1993 when this guy won it. God, I will never forget that Saturday. Like. He loves
like, oh no, that line I said when he sank the putt to win it on 18, that was completely organic. I hadn't had that in the can all day.
You can't act as if he didn't have some. By the way, a lot of these calls definitely are natural from Jim Nance. I'm not pushing back against that. You're telling me there's not one or two times though where you thought, hey,
I got this.
I got it.
I've had all weekend to think about this because this guy's beating this course's butt.
Dude. McIlroy has his masterpiece.
And then
you don't think he was sitting on that all the way back to 11?
Yesterday, I forget how he worded it exactly, but it was a lot of R's in succession. There's a lot of alliteration there.
You think of these things.
Rory's repeat, ribber.
Hey, I think of these things before I get on the radio. There's like, I'm just going to be real with you. We're walking around thinking about what we're going to talk about. I'm like, oh, that's a good line.
Got a couple impactful lines. Yeah.
You don't think when I read off all of those rivalries, I didn't put it in a very specific order because they sounded good? That's how the game works, people. Little inside baseball. But next, we're going to go inside football. Let's talk about Nebraska football. And let's read Joel's tweet because it sparked the thought of my thought about whether or not Nebraska football has an identity and can they get an identity. We talk about that next here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Doc Rivers stepped down as the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. God, I hate the Bucks.
You hate the Bucks.
Can't stand the Bucks.
Imagine feeling something about the Bucks. I understand Chicago, Milwaukee. I get it, but
it's more jealousy. It's like, how did they get Giannis Antetokounmpo before we did? You know, like,
okay.
Haley Van Lith is a very famous WNBA basketball player.
I know her name.
They had her do a jersey swap with the Chicago Bulls guy. The Chicago Bulls guy was Trey Jones. Do you know who Trey Jones is?
I don't. I'm sorry.
He's a journeyman point guard.
Mac McClung was unavailable.
Yeah, he's on the G League team.
Well,
probably more famous than anybody else on the Chicago Bulls right now.
Is Josh Giddey allowed to take photographs with people?
Stop.
What? These are the Bulls that I know.
He was cleared of all of that. All right. I mean, nothing happened.
They should promote that more. Ladies and gentlemen, cleared of all charges.
There were no charges.
Giddey.
There were no charges. No charges happened. That's the thing. Only blocks, no charges. All right. Only Instagram and Snapchat posts that were then later revealed that he did a bad thing, but nobody got charged.
Ladies and gentlemen, guilty of nothing, charged of nothing.
Seriously.
Josh Giddey.
Some people get charged and then things get dismissed and you go, really? Right? That happened in, some other things.
Who are these people? I'm looking at this roster.
I know none of these people.
Billy Donovan should.
He's having a meeting. He's
get a medal for winning 31 games.
He shouldn't get a damn thing. He already gets paid plenty.
Did they play the Wizards 31
Don't
times?
start doing this. You never said thank you. That's what the money is for. All right? That's what the money is for. Is the thank you to Billy Donovan. It's a terrible roster. They just completely blew it up. They don't know what they're doing. AK and Mark Eversley, Impossible, were worse than Gar Forman and John Paxson. Let's just go back real quick to Doc Rivers, who's stepping down from the Milwaukee Bucks. What does that guy do next?
Oh, TV.
Yeah,
radio.
But like forever, right? The guy hasn't won a title in 18 years.
I want to know his age before I commit to this.
The guy is
64.
He's done. He's done, right? He's done.
He should be. But does one team who's like a perennial 4 seed go, we're a Doc Rivers away?
Even I think that's too tough. I would say, like, do the Orlando Magic fire their head coach and then hire Doc, which would be a step back.
Don't do that, but boy, that's a plausible scenario you've laid out in front of me.
I'm just, just pointing out here. Probably is something that could happen. He is like, do you know who he's like?
No, tell me.
I think he's like, he's like the basketball version of John Tortorella.
Somebody's always going to be willing to hire him.
Oh, like
churned through the cycle.
Torts will never not have a job. Right? Like he will always be employed. And as soon as an underperforming team is no longer performing to their ability, Doc Rivers, like John Tortorella, will be the number one guy that gets brought up. They both only have won one.
Okay, that's what I was trying to find.
Torts won one with Tampa in 04.
Tampa, okay.
He won one in Tampa in 04.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's on his 6th team.
Yeah.
Is Torts.
And he hasn't accomplished anything since 04. But his teams have been good enough to be in the playoffs, not good enough to get Torts fired. But then he does get fired, and then
a smidge above 500 for his career.
Doc definitely has a much better record than that. I would probably guess that Doc has like a 63% winning percentage.
I got to scroll.
I could scroll. I'll get there. A lot of seasons.
I'll get there. Head coaching record. Wow. 5-8. Yep, 58%.
Yeah. Tortorella and Doc Rivers are the same people.
I think we really stumbled upon something.
We did. We not stumbled upon it. We used our great history of sports and intuition to find out that the man who has coached the Las Vegas Golden Knights into the playoffs, is basically the version of a guy who probably will not get another NBA job, but will be great on TV with his very raspy voice. So there was an Athletic article.
See, PJ Carlesimo did TV, and they were like, you got to do radio with that voice. I can't hear you on TV.
Is Mike Tomlin just going to do TV forever, by the way? Have we gotten any update on that? Is he, everything I read is that he's just not interested in never coaching football.
Yeah, that's
just all I'm getting.
I mean,
by the way, he's going to
Bill Cowher this thing.
Talk about being a hot TV commodity. He is like the hottest because he's going to be great on TV.
NBC showed him at the Braves game yesterday.
See, that's the thing about Torts, though, that I appreciate. His teams always have an identity.
An identity, you say?
You know who? Let's just call it. Who doesn't have an identity? Nebraska football. So there was this clip. Told you that we're in spring football, right? And so coaches that we haven't heard from for quite a while, are now really getting out in front, talking about their current teams. If you have NFL draft prospects, you're talking about NFL draft prospects. You're talking about your guys. You're saying the same company lines. Oh, Caleb's a great kid. So proud of the work that he did here.
Good character guy.
You know, when we got Caleb here, you know,
leader of men.
He transferred in. He was 190 pounds. And I remember the first week of practice being like, I don't see it. I didn't really see it. But you know what? I mean, he just stuck to it. First guy in, last guy out. Such a hard worker. So proud to have him a part of our program and, you know, won a lot of games with him. And I think any team that drafts him in the NFL is going to be so happy with the type of guy that they got.
The stuff that stuck with me was probably not the stuff on the field. It was probably the stuff off the field. I mean, so generous with his time, with the kids and whatnot.
This is, I mean, he's just, you know, he's the type of guy who just walks in a room, just a natural born leader. And he, you know, he speaks with his actions. His actions speak much louder than his words. He's kind of a quiet kid, you know. I mean, we've done this a lot. We've seen a lot of these. It's the same thing over and over again. But it's like
Sean McVay was in the room.
One man in particular said, screw that. Said, screw that. I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to tell you how it is. His name is Ryan Day. He said this.
But I think it's just across the board at Ohio State. There's an expectation when you come here, you're coming to be a first or second rounder, regardless of your position. And that's it. Just like, you know, if we don't win games and championships, they're going to find a new coach. Well, if you're not a first or second rounder, then this probably isn't the right place for you. And that's just the reality of it.
I'll be real with you. Kind of love it. Now,
he's wrong, but
he's right.
That's the mentality that you have to have, right? Like,
Josh, is he wrong? Because
I mean, not everyone on Ohio State will be first or second round pick. Like,
but
in a literal sense,
he's wrong. Okay, fine. In the meaning of it, though, Arvell Reese is going to go number 2. Sonny Styles is going to go in the top 10. Caleb Downs is going to go in the top 10. Like, Carnell Tate is probably going to go in the top 10. They're going to have 4, which, by the way, we will always look back and be like, how the hell did that Ohio State team that had 4 top 10 picks not end up making?
Ryan Day would actually like you not to ask that question. It was the layoff.
You can make the argument that Ohio State they won the national championship, and the 2 years before that, they came in second place, essentially. And then in the time after that, they came in third place, which was last year. But anyway, that though, when a coach is saying, look, we are going to get the best players, and we are going to get the top prospects, and we are going to develop those top prospects. And if you aren't at the top level, you're not going to play here. That's an identity. That's who you are as a program. Hey, at Ohio State, we get the best players, and the best players develop in the best players in college football. That's what we do. And when you look at when you look at Ohio State, they have an identity in terms of how they recruit, and then they have an identity in terms of how they develop. They've had some really good guys coming out of the secondary the last couple of years, right? Had a lot of, like, Caleb Downs is one of them. Jeff Okudah is one of them. We have a lot of, I mean, how many Ohio State wide receivers do you know that have been drafted very high over the last couple of drafts? Marvin Harrison Jr., Jackson Smith and Jigba, Chris Olave, Noah Brown is playing good football for the Washington Commanders. Jeremiah Smith is going to get drafted very high. Cardinal Tate is going to go ahead and probably get drafted in the top 10. They have an identity. They are known for getting the top prospects across the country, and they're known for developing those prospects, regardless of position, really, across the board to be some of the best in the NFL. Iowa has an identity. Iowa's got great defense. Iowa's effective in special teams. And maybe not even make an argument. You can just probably say, plain and simple, yeah, Iowa's tight end you. You look at the guys that they've produced from that position who are playing in the NFL. Sam Laporta, George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson. Noah Fant had a really good career. I already brought up Kittle. But, got a lot of guys who played tight end at Iowa who end up being great in the NFL. That's their identity. Oregon is developing identity, right? Do you watch Oregon football? Do you see how fast that freaking team is, man? They recruit.
Every year.
They recruit to that. They recruit to just having the fastest team on the field. And then they recruit to elite quarterback development. That's what they do. We develop the quarterbacks. We develop Bo Nix. We take him from Auburn and we make him into a top quarterback. We develop Dylan Gabriel. We take him and we develop him into a top quarterback. We take Dante Moore from UCLA and we develop Dante Moore. I'm telling you right now, I understand the conversation, why he went back to the Ducks. You make a ton of money. You're going to dominate. They're going to have a great team. They're going to be contending for a national championship. You're going to be in the spotlight. I get why you go back to Oregon. But Dante Moore would have had a legitimate shot, in my opinion, to go number 1 in this NFL draft. I haven't seen a quarterback prospect. When Cam Ward got taken number 1 overall last year, and it was so meh. I was I don't know if we're going to see this again. Us not giving a damn about a quarterback prospect to this degree. Until Fernando Mendoza has just he's not great. Yeah, he's not elite. It's not all these traits that he has that absolutely stand out, but he's the best available, and the Raiders need a quarterback, so they're going to take. Yeah, but Moore would have had a legitimate shot to go. I mean, I think the Jets probably take him at number 2, hands down. Probably pass up on Reese. But anyway, that's Oregon's identity. Quarterback play speed. Georgia. Defense. I mean, think of all the defensive linemen that come out of Georgia. Think of Kaylee Ringo out of cornerback. Think of Nakobe Dean and Jalen Walker coming out as linebackers. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, right? That. They've just had these staunch, these just awesome defenses. And then even the tight ends like Brock Bowers, Darnell Wright, these were guys Georgia, especially at their peak. When you thought of that team, you thought of oh my God, that defense is insane. Right? Look at Miami. Look what Miami did this year. Their identity this year, build them through the trenches. Got multiple offensive linemen going to be drafted in this year's NFL draft. They got 2 defensive linemen, defensive ends, who are going to be drafted in the first round. Messidor and Bain. Right? That's their identity. Mario Cristobal, highly heralded offensive line coach, builds his team through the offensive line, invests on the defensive line. These teams, and it's funny, I've roped in Iowa with Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, and Miami, but
they have an identity.
They have an identity. What's Nebraska's identity? What do they recruit to? What do they develop at high level? When Nebraska football steps onto the field, what are you saying? Hey, they're going to do this at an insanely high level, and this is their bread and butter, and this is how they're going to win. I know how Iowa wins football games. I know how Oregon wins football games. I know how Ohio State wins football games. You can look at teams and say, hey, if they're going to win this game, here's a great but terrible example. I know how Northwestern wins football games. Northwestern wins football games by controlling the clock, running the ball down your throat, using 2 to 3 different running backs, making short passes, and playing some really good defense. Right? Do they win 10 games a year? No, but I know that if Northwestern is going to beat Michigan, this is how they're going to beat Michigan. Mm-hmm. If Nebraska is going to beat Michigan, I don't know how they would do that. I don't see the vision in my head other than, wow, they just played above, what they were expected to do. So that's an issue, man. And you're in year 4. Now, I do think this, if you want some positivity here, and I was there. I was at the press conferences. I asked him questions. I was around the team. When Matt Rule came into the program, he talked a lot about Iowa. He talked a lot about special teams. He talked a lot about running the football. He talked a lot about the trenches. And this was always the phrase I used. I felt like he wanted to be the Ohio State of Iowa's. He wanted to play similar football to what Iowa played in the Big Ten, but did it at the highest level and did it with more talented recruits. And so, the running back by committee. And, he came out in year one and said, we want to be great at special teams. And having the outside defensive coordinator hire that he thinks is going to bode the best towards the players that they have and, where the Big Ten is going. He did a lot of those things in 2023. He's doing a lot of those things now. And I think the one thing that kind of got in the way of accentuating that identity was Dylan. When Dylan said he's coming to Nebraska, you don't tell him no. You don't say, no, we're doing something different here.
Doesn't really fit with what we're trying to do.
No.
So we're going to pass.
You adjust around the athlete. You adjust around the players, right? So they get Dylan and they go, okay, we know we said trenches and we know we said we want to rush for 75 yards in the fourth quarter. And we know we said we want to do these things and all that. But now we got a 5-star quarterback. We got to invest in wide receivers. We got to get Ja'Cory Barney. We got to get Isaiah Nair. We got to get Jamal Banks. We got to get Dane Key. We got to get Isaiah Hunter. We got to get Cortez Mills. We got to get Malachi Coleman. We got to get Jalen Lloyd. We got to get Jaden Doss. We got to get these guys. We got to invest in this position. Okay, we're gonna develop. We're a quarterback team now. Well, we got to get another quarterback. Let's get TJ Lateef. Hey, we got to go ahead and get Trey Taylor. We got to stock this thing up. All right, now we have our quarterback. All right, well, now we're going to upgrade the quarterback coach. We're going to go ahead and get Glenn Thomas. Oh, wait, Dana Holgerson's available. We're going to bring him in like 3/4 through the way of the season and just have him be the coordinator now, right? They invested a lot in the quarterback position. They invested a lot into having that position be the engine that was going to carry them. And then it didn't work. And so I think now Nebraska football is definitely more in tune to originally where they wanted their identity to be. And I think there are just things that kind of happened that got them off course. But now that you don't have to deal with any of that stuff anymore, they're doing a lot of the same things they were doing when they first got here. Transfer quarterback who can run. Multiple running backs. New defensive coordinator who's got a system that you think can make your defense better. Right? It's just some of the things that they're now doing now in 2026 they're doing in 2023. And you couldn't say no to Dylan, but it definitely did lead you on a path that you weren't originally setting up to go in. And you put a lot of eggs in that basket and didn't end up working out. Can they recover from that? We're going to see if they can do that in 2026. Coming up next, the Odd News with Josh Odd's son here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
I lied. Sorry,
A
Alex.
liar.
I'm a liar. I don't know. Just 3 minutes
What you lie
for
about?
the odd news just did not seem like
3 minutes is a long time to some people.
it's a very long time to some people. Okay, and
Enough.
it should be a long time to most people if we're being honest. But anyway, I want to give the odd news a little bit more time, so we're gonna do it after this break at the 12 o'clock hour, real quick.
Okay.
Shout out Nebraska softball, 3-0 this weekend against the Wisconsin Badgers. You had a take off air.
This is why I don't tell you things.
You had a
this is
take
fine.
off air that I think you were a little nervous to put on air at the time, and it was pretty bold, but it's correct. And what you are talking about, Josh Hodson, is happening. And you said, and I think you know what I'm referring to here, that you're like, I don't really care about Nebraska softball when Jordy Fromm is pitching, because
I said that a long time ago.
You're like, they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Like, she's awesome. She's incredible. Like, you know that they're going to be in this game, and more than likely they are going to win this game. I don't really.
They beat Texas Tech or Tennessee or something when she was pitching, and I said, they should win when she's on in the circle.
And it kind of sounds like a ridiculous take at times, because it's just like, what do you mean you don't care when the best player on your team or the country is playing? But at the same time, the point you're making is correct. We know what Nebraska softball can do when Jordy Fromm is pitching. What can they do when she's not pitching? That's when it really comes to crunch time. Can they find the other pitcher? Can they find the other person that can win you the games when Jordy isn't throwing, when Jordy isn't performing? Josh Hodson, they have found that athlete.
Yes.
Alexis Jensen.
AJ.
Threw a couple of gems in Madison over the weekend, 17-2 on the year, 2.58 ERA. All right. Over the weekend, she pitched 11 innings. Okay. She gave up 1 run. Okay. Playing some phenomenal softball. Nebraska softball now in second place, 14-1 in the softball standings in the Big Ten, only behind undefeated Washington. Washington swept Minnesota over the weekend, but they take on Oregon, who's 13-2. Will Washington suffer their first loss of the season this weekend in Big Ten play? And will Nebraska go ahead and grab first place? We will find out this weekend, as Nebraska softball and Nebraska baseball playing great stuff on the diamond. Coming up next, the odd news with Josh Hodson.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
I just am sick and tired of giving you only like 5 minutes to do the odd news. Okay,
I'm a peacock.
Well,
you gotta let me spread my wings.
I know, and it's just one of those things where it's like, how am I? I'm doing a disservice to this audience if I'm not allowing Josh Odson to share the odd news, and so I could not, in good faith, say, "All right, Josh, we got 2 minutes. You got one story. Go." You know, it's like
I love the audience. I love that they champion this segment, but hey. One story is less work than 3 stories, audience.
Just take it. Take the compliment. All right? I don't want William Regal to have a 3-minute match because Michaels went over with Razor Ramon by 18 minutes. I want Regal to do his locks. That's what I want.
Shawn Michaels is going to have a lot of problems with a lot of people.
Yeah, I know. But then now there's going to be this Sexy Red song that comes out, and we're going to pull up tape from 1994, and he's just going to be dancing all of.
I got questions about that.
Do you like that meme now where it's just like it's old Michaels dancing with the shirt off?
I like the one where he's doing the thing I can't do on the radio. That's a fun gif.
You know what? Just real quick, because we brought up Canada earlier in the show with Justin Trudeau now dating Katy Perry. Mm-hmm. That sounds like an ad lib from what do they call that? Do they call it Mad Libs?
Mad Libs, yeah.
It sounds like a Mad Lib from 2021. I loved it when he wiped his crotch with a Canadian flag and then he proceeded to hump on it.
I was like 12, 13 at the time. I was like, this is perfect.
That is awesome.
This is absolute cinema.
That is heel work at its finest. Which, by the way,
I was like, yeah, this is my guy, America.
Real quick, now that because sometimes we do segments for us. We'll get to the odd news in a second. WrestleMania is this week.
It is.
Do you care?
Ooh, I care because my son is very interested in it.
Oh, who does he like?
What does any 7-year-old? Who's any 7-year-old rooting for?
Liv Morgan.
No, we haven't got there yet. He does like watching women's wrestling for some reason.
Oh, I wonder why.
He's 7. Calm down. He's
okay.
Cody's his guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he loves doing the.
He's gonna get his ass beat.
I know. I love doing this to my son. He got super excited for John Cena's retirement match, but he didn't know it was John Cena's retirement match. I was like, "Hey, let's sit down and watch this and have your heart broken. Your hero's gonna fall right in front of you."
Can I? This is maybe a question I should ask you off. Can I say your son's name on air? Is that inappropriate?
You can. I choose not. Like we can do it every once in a while. This audience can handle it. Other audiences I've been a part of, not so much.
I'm worried about little Rob. I'm worried about him.
Okay.
Because I think that it might be a squash.
Oh.
Like, I actually think Randy might obliterate.
Just take it from him.
Like, but not a, fun squash. Like a Cody's bleeding from the forehead getting, choked out.
We need to find children in the audience who are reacting violently to this.
I think that this is probably what they need to do. They need to whip his ass and make all the children cry and just suffer. And I'm worried about your son because if he's that big of I think this is a possibility.
I hadn't thought of this.
Matt McBooker over here.
Ooh.
That's how I would book it.
Okay.
I would book this as the ultimate ass whooping. And I would try and garner as much childhood sympathy toward Cody. Like, I would go as far as I want the kids crying out of the Roomba in Las Vegas when the lights turn off.
Roomba.
That's how That's how brutal I would book.
Maybe I'll film the reaction because you can kind of tell when it's trending that way.
Yeah.
And okay, let's take the phone.
I think Cody's going to get a lot of color.
Oh,
which, by the way,
he's gonna bleed.
Sorry for you non-marks out there.
For you cool people.
Yeah, color is bleeding. When you bleed in wrestling, we in the industry call it getting. You call it that.
Well,
come on, it's a term. Don't act like you're. Hey! You wanted this, right? You wanted the nerdy host who knew about wrestling. Don't act like you didn't want it.
I thought
don't
I did.
Don't act like you aren't a nerd too.
Very nerdy over here.
We call it color. Cody's gonna get some color. He's gonna get some blood.
Red equals green.
I mean, kind of. Are you a Mark? Are you looking up at the lights? Are you still in kayfabe? Did you get the?
I believe yes to all those things.
Did you get the? What do they call it? The tap, the rub, when they like tap you to make sure you're okay after a big bump. The rub or something like that. Anyway, that's gonna happen. I don't care. By the way, to answer my own question, don't care about WrestleMania on Saturday. Very sad. WrestleMania on Sunday. Great card. Should be fun.
Oh, okay.
WrestleMania should be a one-day event.
Great take.
Coming up right now. Let's do the odd
news
with Josh.
The Masters over the weekend, featuring some of the worst fans in sports year in, year out, as Guy yells,
"It's in the hole!" Turn your mic on.
It's on.
I've abandoned my child. Mashed potatoes.
Well, at the Masters this weekend, one guy chose to get banned from Augusta National for life for saying,
"Give me back my son."
Which, Matt, I don't know if you know this. This is a reference.
I don't know the reference.
To the 1996 Mel Gibson movie Ransom.
Okay.
Where Gary Sinise, spoiler alert, kidnaps Mel Gibson's child and, hey, if you give me $1 million, I'll give you your son back. To which Mel Gibson shouted into the phone, "Give me back my son!"
I think I'm going to watch Reservoir Dogs.
Great selection, Matt.
I was reading about Klosterman. By the way, Chuck Klosterman does a great. Do you do a Tarantino?
Do I do it like an impression?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Okay. What did you want? I'm going to watch Reservoir Dogs.
That's what I want.
I'm very excited. He explained Mr. Pink and Mr. White. And it's a movie about a fake crime while a fake crime is being committed.
It's also 99 minutes.
Really?
You could watch it quick.
Hell yeah. Kenneth writes in the YouTube chat, absolutely zero need for Kelsey, McAfee, Kevin Hart to be a part of anything to do with this tournament. But did he get really banned for life for saying that, by the way? That's not even that bad.
It's the fact that he didn't go with decorum. He shouted it very loudly.
Kenneth goes, the dude wearing the piss yellow rope hat that said egg salad.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
It was there all 4 days.
Wait.
In the same spot. How's that possible?
Okay. Wait. Couple of things here.
I
thought the Masters, if ESPN wants to bring in Kevin Hart and Jason Kelsey and all those people, right? And Bert Kreischer, that's ESPN bringing them for their broadcast, right? Like ESPN they're broadcasting it, right? They're like, hey, these are essential people to our broadcast. We would like these people to be here. I don't have a problem with that because ESPN is using them for their work, right? But it just seems like now the celebrities can contact Augusta and be like, hey, I'm coming, or I want to come. And they're like, okay, And I thought they didn't do that. Like, I didn't think they gave out special treatment. And that guy who's there for 4 days, who does he know? You got to know somebody to be there. Why? Now it's become a who do you know party. And the Masters was always kind of propped up as a pure golf tournament for the pure golf fan.
Here's a take I just cooked up. Audience, let me send it back if you don't like it. The Masters is the Coachella of sports.
But that's not, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
No real people go to Augusta National.
No, but that's not
just influencers.
No, that's not what it used to be. That's not what it used to be at all. It used to be the opposite. And that's what made it great. And now it is becoming Coachella. Okay.
Next year, Bryson DeChambeau is just going to scroll YouTube on his laptop.
Here's my problem. Coachella was always insufferable. You know what I'm saying?
Now that's a great take.
Coachella has always been a conglomerate of the worst people that you can't stand. Okay. The people at Coachella who claim they like the people at Coachella don't even like the people at Coachella.
That was confusing, but I think I followed.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I even think the people who go to Coachella are like, I don't even like that I'm doing this. Right? You like being in a tent in 99-degree weather?
Hey,
and sweating your ass off
we
and
all
having
got
to
parts
sleep
of our
in your
job
trunk?
we don't like, right? I got to go to Coachella.
Like that's the thing. I think Coachella has always been insufferable. The Masters is becoming this way. And believe it or not, we could stop bad things from happening. Not every decision we make has to be about money. That's, you know what? If I were to write a 2020s book, my sport page would be like, we stopped hiding about the money. We used to do a better job of making decisions and convincing you, hey, these are the real reasons. And then always there was the ulterior motive of money, right? But we would actually, the commissioners of leagues would actually try to convince you, hey, these are the logical reasons we're doing this. But it was always on the back burner we did money. Now, we just go, nah, money.
Platcat says, wasn't like this before McMaster's matchup existed. Really makes you wonder.
You can't throw this on me, okay? All right? I know a lot of interesting things have happened in the world since I joined 1620. I'm not responsible for those things. Okay?
Speaking of Coachella, story number 2.
God, I forget we're doing the odd news still.
Justin Bieber.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard about
this. This guy got $10 million to perform, quote unquote, at Coachella this weekend. He spent his time surfing YouTube and asking the audience what videos he'd like to play.
Did he sing? I thought he sung a couple songs.
He sang some songs from his new album.
Yeah.
Which nobody wants the tracks from the new album.
So I think he sold his catalog, correct? That he sold, I believe he sold his catalog of music and can no longer perform or something like that.
Oh, can he not perform the old stuff?
He's going through a Taylor Swift situation, but Taylor had her songs taken from her.
Yes, Justin Bieber sold his entire music catalog to somebody in 2023 for $200 million.
Yeah. And
how's this guy dressed like he just pulled a hoodie and a pair of gym shorts out of the laundry?
But this is what they do now. Like, as soon as like everybody could start dressing nice, rich people started dressing terribly. Why do you think those shirts with holes in it now sell for like $255?
This is true.
These rich people have to be different. Oh, everybody is super nice now. They're all dressing in these nice clothes. We're gonna dress in crappy clothes. Oh, everybody's getting tight clothing. Oh, we're gonna get loose, baggy clothing.
Saturday's 90-minute performance occasionally featured him scrolling through comments on the Coachella live stream to pick his next songs. I think maybe you guys could help me with the songs tonight. Maybe help me pick the favorites, he explained.
So did he sing or you just took requests?
The singer played only snippets of Baby, Never Say Never, Beauty and a Beat.
Beauty and the Beat.
And his other early hits. Instead, Bieber pulled mostly from his newest albums, 2025's Swag and Swag 2. The albums are 2 discs of stripped-back lo-fi R&B, a departure from his pop sound.
You know what? Pop music is a culture I'm glad I never got myself into. It just seems so superficial and artificial and just
I tried to hold on for a very long time. I didn't want to be the guy that didn't understand what was happening with pop music.
I don't care.
I have fully let go, and I'm better for it.
All I know is that there's that one song about the woman trying to find her husband. That's the only popular pop song. Well, I know there's a lot of them, but it literally goes, "Where the hell is my husband? What's been taking him so long?" You ever hear that one?
No, not
Are you on TikTok?
Nope.
Okay, not surprising. Third story.
The fine folks of Seattle over the weekend tried to honor Ichiro Suzuki and his Hall of Fame career.
I saw this.
By unveiling a statue of him outside of Safeco. T-Mobile. Sorry, I still call it Safeco. Always will.
You old school son of a gun.
I know.
You're so cool.
Really old manning across this segment.
Wait. The most old man thing to do is to refuse to call a new stadium's name by the new stadium's name. The most old man thing you can do is go Chicago Stadium, is to go Comiskey Park, is to go Safeco Field, is to go Staples Center. Okay? That's the most old man thing you can do.
I can't keep up.
All of the names. There are people who still call the Pfizer Forum the Bradley Center. Well, I'm going to go to the Bradley Center. It's a little ridiculous. All right, continue.
They decided to count down from 51. I don't know if that was serious or not, but as they unveiled, as they pulled the cover off of the statue of Ichiro, a snapping noise could be heard. And when the cover was pulled off, the bronze bat had flopped down. They broke the bat by ripping the cover off the statue. It was very quickly fixed, but boy.
First off, it's funny. Like the bat is like the integral part of that statue. Like it is the star is him holding the bat the way that he's holding.
Right.
How can we not get these statues correct, man? We've had a really bad,
run of statues.
Really bad run of statues. Of just like
after years of never thinking about statues can be bad.
Dwayne Wade had a bad statue.
Ronaldo
had 2 terrible statues.
Yeah.
John Cook, they did John Cook's statue. Well, they got that one done. But now this one's fallen off. We've had a really bad run.
Better get John Cook's statue right or he'll kick your ass.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say underratingly big. Like, had no idea until I met him how tall the man was. You know, he's like 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". I don't know. When you see him on the sidelines, he doesn't seem that intimidating. And then you meet him. And I'm going to be real with you.
You felt it in that moment.
We had a little cleanup in aisle 5. Whoa. I mean, it was.
Google AI says John Cook is 6'5".
He might be. Yeah, he's tall. He's like 6'4". Wow. Like he's tall. He's a tall guy.
I didn't know that.
Dude, you would never pick that out. You would never point that out until you meet him or you see him right in front of you. And by the way, too, like his hands, very big hands.
Okay.
Very much like I kind of got.
He looks the part.
Dude, I got alpha'd on the handshake. I was like, I didn't know what was going on.
He strikes me as a guy that has some old man strength and is willing to show it off.
Oh, big time. But like he doesn't alpha you with like, oh, how you doing? But he almost alphas you by just being like, yeah, I'm incredible. You know? I
follow.
Like we've had Heisman Trophy winners in the studio that I have talked to, that I've met, that I've shook their hands. I don't think I was as nervous until I met John Cook, especially when he walked through the door. I was like, my God. And then my buddy Jeff was right behind him. He was like, hey. I'm like, oh my God. Great talk. The Omaha Supernovas, when are they? Are they nearly in the playoffs?
Well, they're fighting for it.
They did lose on Friday, unfortunately, in 4 sets.
They're 11-13 right now.
Yeah, they've lost their 2 games since they've gotten their new coach.
Big match coming up Thursday at Orlando.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. There's your Omaha Supernovas update. We are going to give you an update on the college basketball transfer portal. Illinois got another European.
Of course.
Xavier's spending more money. Louisville has money that I don't know what's coming from. And something might be happening at Nebraska. We'll talk about that next here on Middays with Matt.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays Matt wants to remind you to go to 1620thezone.com where we have a ton of prizes for you to win. We are giving away a pair of tickets to see Zach Bryan at the Kings of Leon and J.R. Carroll at Memorial Stadium. Nate Bargatze in the Metro on April 25th at the CHI Health Center this month. George Thorogood and the Scrurs, the Black Keys, the Young Giant, and Chris Stapleton all are available for you to potentially win tickets on 1620thezone.com. We have a big announcement right now here on Middays with Matt. As you know, over the last couple of weeks, we have been promoting McMaster's Matchup, where we had people sign up on 1620thezone.com, register for McMaster's Matchup, and if they were to have been selected in the pool of people who were to register, who registered, they were going to be assigned a golfer. So you had to get picked from the pool to be one of the 20 people in the pool, and then you had to get assigned a golfer, and then, and only then, if your golfer won the tournament in Augusta, Georgia, you were to win $250. We want to congratulate Matt Ritter for being this year's winner of the McMaster's Matchup, as he was assigned with the back-to-back champion, Rory McIlroy. Congratulations to Matt. What a name.
And it's not you, right? We don't want to dox the winner.
I'm not. This is not Matt McRitter. This is just Matt Ritter.
Okay.
He is the winner, $250. This is something, in all seriousness, we'll get out of the jokey tone. We'll be doing this a lot. This is something that we're definitely want to continue to do with some golf tournaments as we go on. I love to golf. Golf every Wednesday at Tiburon in our league. Shout out the mutual guys. Have so much fun. You'll catch me on the weekend, whether it be at Shoreline or Benson or Iron Horse or wherever it might be. I love to golf. So we want to continue to have more of these golf things. I want to continue to talk to people about golf. Remember that we went to the Tee Box over 114th and Dodge, where had a great time with USC was over there. Shout out Josh, who runs the Tee Box over there.
Not me.
No, not Josh Hodson. And not Josh Peterson either. But we continue. We definitely want to continue to do some of these golf things, and definitely your interest in some of the things that we do will only continue to carry that. So we want to thank you for everybody who registered for McMaster's Matchup, everybody who participated in McMaster's Matchup, and then obviously congratulations to Matt Ritter, who ended up winning the $250 cash prize. PC has a great idea. Maybe we put PC in the promotions department.
The P stands for promotions.
Platcat.
Oh.
We doing McMaster's Derby? Assign a horse? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We can see what we can do. We can see what we can do. I've officially declared this the long shot derby.
It's just a bunch of long shots. Somebody has to be the favorite.
I'm just going to bet. No, I'm telling you I'm going to bet the long shot.
I'm sorry.
And the Japanese horse. Death, taxes, and Matt McMaster falling in love with the Japanese horse.
Okay.
I love Japanese horses.
You're a...
What?
We would call it a weeb, but for horses. What's a weeb for horses?
What's a weeb?
We often refer to Nick as a weeb because he enjoys lots of different aspects of Japanese culture.
Well, I do too. I love sushi.
Their whiskey, their cartoons.
And their whiskey's overrated. Their cartoons are a little weird. I just like the fish and the horses that they get from their country.
I don't know if that's weeb behavior.
I love seafood. Such a seafood guy.
Okay.
And the Japanese do seafood so well. Well, the Japanese do seafood so well, but they don't really do anything to the seafood. They just cut it.
Sushi.
But they just cut it. You just cut. There's more to it. There's temperature gauging, and stuff like.
I had sushi over the weekend.
The James Beard, was Dave Utterback, right? Who runs Koji and Yoshitomo.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't be listening to this and get mad at me when I say all sushi is just cutting. It's not just cutting. No. It's more than that. But part of the beauty of Japanese sushi is that less is more in a way. Right. You just got to make sure you do it correctly. I need to go to Koji. You love that place so much.
Yeah, best bite of food in the city.
Whoa! Really?
Mm-hmm.
And you're 10 toes down on that. You got that serious Josh Hodson.
No one's ever
said
that to me, but yeah.
You're 10 toes down.
10 toes down.
10 toes down on Koji being the best bite of food in the metro.
They have the best bite.
What is it?
What's the?
Oh, you don't even remember it. This is.
I don't know the
I'm
name.
really wearing off on you.
This
I'm really wearing off on you.
I saw it on a
I make
TikTok.
outlandish statements and then I go, I kind of forgot. You forgot? It's the best bite in the city.
I didn't forget. I'll know it when I see it.
Is it like the Spam that's on top of the rice? What do they call that?
No, that's not what it is. Where is it? All right, talk amongst yourselves. I'll find it.
Well, sorry. That's what I do anyway on the show. The transfer portal.
Prairie tuna.
Okay.
I didn't time it out on purpose, I swear.
Can we have a little decorum? All right? Give me back my son. I've abandoned my child.
All right.
I've abandoned my boy.
Go on with your little transfer portal there.
What do you mean, my little? What do you want to keep talking about fish, Josh Hodson? You and your prairie tuna? Best bite in the city. You don't even remember what it was called.
Boy, that's a real hell of a question you've posed. Would I rather talk about sushi?
Sushi or the transfer
or the
portal?
transfer
Seth,
portal.
poll question. Would you rather talk about sushi or the transfer portal? Do you have a favorite type of sushi outside of prairie tuna? Prairie tuna, by the way.
I love a crunchy blue or like a crunchy LA.
You like rolls? You're just a roll guy? Really?
Yeah. I like my food to have flavor.
Yeah, it has plenty of flavor with the natural fish flavor. With the salmon, or the salmon belly, or the salmon roll, or the tuna roll, or the yellowfin. Have you ever had yellowfin hamachi? It's pretty great. How about an omakase with a mackerel, all right, with sliced mackerel and a ponzu sauce?
That sounds delicious.
All right.
I love ponzu sauce.
It's ridiculous. You have an LA roll. I'm sure you love a Philadelphia roll.
I actually don't like cream cheese on my sushi.
Oh, cream cheese doesn't belong on sushi.
Great take,
I
Matt.
said it.
Great take.
All right. I want pure now. John, here we go. Weeb. And then now this guy who's been arguing with me about, so wait, this is crazy. This show has gone off the rails. This dude got really pissed at me because I said there are too many teams in the playoffs, right? And then, so him and I started going back and forth because he can get that smoke, you know? So I told him 12 teams is too many. And then after telling me that 16 teams is not too many, he's now written to me, we should just go back to the BCS and let the voters decide which teams are the best instead of actually allowing them to play each other. That's kind of crazy. But pick a lane, guy. Jeremy goes, Lion King is killer at Blue. I don't really get a lot of
my wife
roles.
likes that one.
What is a Lion King role? Does the dad die? That's the only thing. When you say, hey, we got a Lion King role, I think, did the dad die in the making of the sushi?
All right, that's a pretty good line.
I should have gotten breened there for that.
It's up if you'd like to breen yourself.
I would like, yeah. I mean, who's going to breen me if I don't breen myself?
Crab mix, cucumber, avocado, spicy salmon, scallion, eel sauce, chili.
Too many.
aioli.
No, too many.
It is a rather extravagant roll, if I remember.
I bet it's like $14. That's the thing about rolls. They're too much. Too much money. I always get you know how they have that little section where it's like the chef select, where the chefs select.
We do that when we
the
go.
Different. That's just what I go with. I don't care. I have the chef choose. You know.
That's why you got to go to Koji. Sit at the bar, talk to the person making your food.
Yeah. Lead me.
You would love this. Yep.
Lead me. Lead me. I don't care. You know more than I do. You know more about sushi than I do.
Precisely.
You know the mixtures because sushi's all about following a bite after a bite. You know, which is why you have the ginger. You got to eat your ginger to make sure you cleanse your palate. Not enough people are eating the ginger to cleanse your palate. You got to cleanse your palate with the ginger. But sometimes you don't cleanse your palate. You allow kind of the aftertaste of one fish to affect positively the taste of the next fish. That's why it's an omakase. An omakase is created so one bite follows another bite, and then the sushi chef will then say, here, have some ginger. Carol goes, cream cheese on sushi is such a nice mix-up, though. Great flavor contrast. Carol, I think you're 12.
Who is Nebraska's ginger?
Ooh, who is the palate cleanser for Nebraska football? I'll tell you this, it wasn't Scott Frost. Wait, honestly, Scott put such a bad taste in your mouth that Matt Rule had to come in.
Is Matt Rule the ginger?
Coach Ginger. Matt Rule, yeah, because even though Matt Rule hasn't succeeded as much as we would like, we give him such a leeway because he's removed the bad taste in our mouth from the previously bad piece of sushi we had. Matt Ginger.
Interesting.
Coach Ginger. I don't know if I want to call him that. That seems like a really demeaning nickname.
Well,
especially considering the fact that we crap all over gingers in this world.
He's listening. So
is he?
He's already heard it.
Is he listening?
He's got ears.
He's got ears everywhere. They could be in this room. Maybe you're an informant.
I'll never tell.
You think you'd be a good CIA agent? That's a
no,
lie.
I don't think
not
so.
Just take the compliment, damn it.
I'm not tough. I don't have a good poker face.
I think you're tough. I think you have a terrible poker face.
Yeah.
I think you have the worst poker face. I think in like high leverage interrogations, you would just start laughing.
I would. Absolutely.
Baymon goes, Matt is cream cheese shaming listeners.
We are.
Yes. What are you, 8? You're a child?
I would love some flavorless goo on my food.
Let me tell you this. Nothing irks me more than all these middle-aged moms, these suburban moms who go on TikTok and they go, Mom, I got this, crock pot recipe that'll serve 8 kids and your families for 9 days, right? Here's what I'll do. I'm going to put cheese, I'm going to put beef, and here's 2 blocks of cream cheese. That's all they do. The secret's out. All they do, they make these crock pot recipes, and all it is just massive mounds and mounds of cream cheese.
Now,
it's
Matt,
not creative.
You're going to get a lot of people coming at you right now.
I don't care.
Saying,
I don't care. My mom's beer cheese dip with 7 pounds of cream cheese is so good. She makes it every 4th of July.
You're offending my Midwestern sensibilities, Matt. But you're right. You need to dig your heels in on this.
It's it's great on bagels.
Yeah.
I like cream cheese on bagels. But that's a contrast. That's a stark contrast. Why do we need to put cream cheese on everything else?
Great take.
Wait, Baymont says, anti-soup boy is in on calling people children for their food takes.
That's
anti-soup.
Right. I'm anti-soup.
Oh.
Very.
Well, I'm pro-soup. We are on 2 completely different sides of the aisle. I actually had a broccoli cheddar soup over the weekend. Only 2 things will get a.
You did soup on a hot weekend?
What? Why does weather have to matter? I'll eat ice cream in December.
I will too.
Yeah. Same thing. Eating ice cream in December is the same thing as eating hot soup on a hot weekend. Yes, it is.
Feels different.
No, it's not. It's the same concept. You're saying, why would you eat a hot thing when it's hot outside? Why would you eat a cold thing when it's cold outside? It's the same concept.
I eat good food when I want to eat good food.
J-Man, see, that's my argument for the soup.
Nah,
yes, it is.
Soup's not good food.
You're arguing against yourself now. It's great food.
You're mistaken.
It's great food.
You're
can
mistaken.
get cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, cream of broccoli, right? Beef and barley, lentil soup, matzo ball soup, French onion soup, tomato bisque soup, cream of celery soup. I mean,
you got all those teeth in your mouth, and you're just not going to use any of them.
And yet they all bring a different depth of flavor. A hot tortilla soup, a lobster bisque, New England clam chowder white, New England clam chowder red. All right. What do you mean? What do you mean? Lemon drop soup. You ever have that?
Lemon
drop soup? That over at Greek restaurants. Whenever you go to a Greek restaurant, they give you a lemon drop soup. Or we can go to pho. That's a great soup.
Careful.
All right. No, I didn't say pho.
Careful.
I just said pho. No, that's your other.
Some
co-host.
people can't handle.
Some people know how not to swear on air. All right. And that's me. I haven't sworn on air.
Connor, Alyssa, they don't.
Tim Verghese, Lauren Michelson.
Yeah.
All these young people.
I believe Schaefer did.
Dude, Kenneth, dudes can just sit around naming soups for hours.
That's right.
Do you remember that playoff run that egg drop soup had in 2005? Can
Perennial
you forget
power.
it? Joel Fritz goes, cereal is just cold soup. That's no. I don't think there's a.
Why
Is there a thing called cold soup?
Gazpacho?
I don't think I've had a gazpacho.
Borscht, I believe, is also a cold soup.
See, these are when you start dropping cold soups, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had these things.
Expand your mind.
Would you say cereal's a cold soup?
We're sort of in is a hot dog a sandwich territory, and I hate it. But yeah, I guess by letter of the law.
Because here's what makes a soup, right? If I just have a hot chicken stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just broth. I'm just having broth. That's not a soup. Once I put things into the broth,
okay,
it becomes a soup, right? That's when we say it's a soup.
Interesting.
Right? If you don't have carrots, celery, chicken, noodles, it's not a chicken noodle soup. It's just chicken broth, right?
Mirepoix.
If you don't put cereal in the bowl of milk, what is it? It's a bowl of milk.
It's just a bowl of milk. Okay.
So they're the same concepts kind of hold true.
Okay. Milk is the broth.
Where milk is the broth. And the ingredients, which is the soup, makes it the soup. I actually can get on cereal being cold soup. I actually think I've talked myself into this. Baymon goes, I like cold clam chowder straight from the can. Now, he's not crazy. When they used to make the chunky soups, you can eat that.
Donovan McNabb's mom.
The chunky soups can be eaten cold for sure. That my dad used to do that. Now, there's a reason that he's got type 2 diabetes, so I don't recommend you having the same, things. But yeah. Anyway, don't eat like my dad did, but you can't eat cold soup. Kenneth goes, Baymon needs grippy socks for saying all of that. Is that a Connor Happer inside joke?
I think he's just calling you old.
Oh, I like grippy socks. I only ever got grippy socks when you used to go to the trampoline places.
Yes, my child
has jump zones.
Or maybe he's calling you a child. He's either calling you really young or really old.
I think I'm both. J-Man goes, gazpacho called.
That's a big word in there.
Oh, my Lord. Andulizate. I can't say that word. Gazpacho from Spanish is a cold soup drink made of raw blended vegetables. You ever have a paella before?
I actually haven't.
Okay. I think you'd love it.
Paella.
I have my roommate, his mother from the motherland, made us paella with like the shrimp heads and everything.
Mm-hmm. Connor got great paella at a Rays game once.
Yes. And Justin Trudeau had great Asian noodles. Did you see the cup of Asian noodles he was eating with Katy Perry?
Looked really delicious.
It said award-winning cup of noodles.
Oh.
I actually think I want to go to Coachella just to have the
noodles.
Yeah, but
I tell you what, you go to the Omaha Farmers Market, they got a stand it'll give you noodles. You just walk around eating the noodles.
Baymon goes, I love paella. I think paella and like jambalaya are like the two things that you just can't. I don't think anybody hates that. Have you had? I need to go to New Orleans. I think that's number one on the Matt McMaster travel list.
Michael Severe owes me.
He owes you a trip to New Orleans?
No, he owes me jambalaya.
Oh. You and I should have went in on that Colorado vacation.
I told you we should have.
I looked at it. He told me that there are some auctions that thing goes for like $7,000.
Yeah.
We should have done that.
It did not go for $7,000.
It went for $900. It was crazy.
We could have either had a lovely time or flipped that thing.
We definitely could have flipped that thing. Chip and Joanna Gaines. Just Josh Johnson and Matt McMaster. All right. This segment did not go the way that it was supposed to.
Segment.
It was. You don't have to do that every time we have a good segment. Because then
I would do it 11 times a day, Matt.
Because then it makes it seem like we don't have. It's like it almost like when I tell a good joke and when somebody says, "Wow, that was actually funny," that irks the crap out of me. Because you're then you're insinuating that the things I do say aren't funny, and that actually was funny.
I follow.
All right, let's actually talk about college basketball transfer portal. Coming up next, here on 1620.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
We still have some things trickling in from our sushi conversation here, along with our soup conversation. John Texkin.
Hi, John.
Seafood is disgusting, and I don't eat it, ever. What a shocker. Yep. John, our least favorite listener, then goes, I would rather talk about it than the basketball transfer portal. John, who very well established does not like basketball. John is he's mean to us. He doesn't like us, but he listens to the show probably more than anybody. And on top of that, we respect the man who sticks to his bit. And his bit is he hates basketball. Too bad, John. We're talking about basketball. Real quick, though, Jeremy Texkin.
Hey, Jeremy.
You going cheap on sushi? Low key, yeah. I do the all-you-can-eat stuff, which definitely is not the highest quality. And, you know.
Do you get it from the grocery store?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Like if I go to Hy-Vee and I'm like doing my Hy-Vee shopping and I'm doing it now, I used to do it more so after the morning show, because when I was doing the morning show, I wouldn't get to Hy-Vee around 11, and I typically didn't eat before the morning show. So it'd be my first meal of the day. Now I pack lunches. So I'm doing that less and less. I had a ham and Swiss sandwich with liver sausage.
Oh, yes. You were discussing this.
You like liver sausage? I love liver sausage.
Don't know that I've ever had it.
It's a tangy pate. I love it. It's like that's a nice little layer of flavor. Okay. It's all about layering. Let's talk about layering players in the college basketball portal to make your team more textured.
Matt McSegway.
God, I'm so good at it. Let's do national first. Couple of things here. Louisville spending a lot of money. Two big splashes. Flory Badunga, Big 12 player of the year, averaged 13.3 points and 9 rebounds a game last season for Kansas. He did that dual thing where they enter both the draft and the portal at the same time to weigh their options and basically go, if you pay me enough money, I'm not going to go to the draft. Louisville gave him a bag on his way to be a Cardinal. They also got Jackson Shellstat. Now, a lot of people, obviously, you know, and what I like about Nebraska is that we always keep an eye on our own, right? And we always keep an eye on the people who were connected to the state and connected to athletics in the state. And so there are people who are definitely keeping an eye on Oregon basketball this season because Dana Altman, obviously the connection that he has with Creighton, the success that he had at Oregon, not this year, a terrible season over in Eugene, but part of that was because they lost one of their best guards, Jackson Shellstat. In 12 games this season, averaged 15.4 points per game, 32% from three, 40% from the field. Before that, though, last season, had a great sophomore season, his first year in the Big Ten. He goes to Louisville as well. He was the number 18 transfer portal ranked player, according to the field of 68. So both those guys, big bucks being spent by Louisville. Iowa State added 4 transfers, in particular Laquan Johnson, the Missouri Valley Defensive Player of the Year, who also averaged 17 points per game last season. Iowa State currently, according to On3, ranking number 1 overall in the college basketball transfer portal, adding 4 guys. UCLA, number 3, something to keep an eye on in the Big East. Xavier has 3 4-star transfer portal acquisitions. Their top one being a guard from Miami who averaged 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.8 steals in the ACC last season. PJ Haggerty is going to Texas A&M. A&M picks up Haggerty after his pretty solid season at Kansas State. The last 2 teams that Haggerty played for, Memphis and Kansas State, definitely both in turmoil after he's left, but he's on his way to A&M. A guy who's leaving A&M is Pop Isaacs, who, by the way, has popped up on John Walker's Creighton transfer portal target list. John Walker on the OmahaWorldHerald.com, Omaha.com. If you want to look up John and look at his writing, has a transfer portal tracker for Creighton. Guys that they're interested in, guys that they're targeting, guys that they've acquired, and guys that they've lost. Pop Isaacs, one of the new names from A&M on that list. Obviously, formerly a player for Creighton a couple of seasons ago. Committed to Houston last season before switching his commitment to A&M. Another unsurprising addition in the portal this cycle, Stefan Vox, 15.8 points per game, 3.2 assists last season for Providence from Estonia. Guess where he's going? Big guy, good shooter, can create on the ball and off the ball and averages a lot of points. Where would a guy like that, where would a European like that go and play, Josh Hodson?
Well, the only place Europeans are allowed to go, the University of Illinois.
Urbana-Champaign is bringing in all the Euro ballers, and this young man from Estonia is on his way. On his way out, though, Keen Wagler from Shawnee, Kansas, one of the biggest breakout college basketball players we've seen in quite some time. Went from a guy who had 2 Power 5 offers. 2, Minnesota and Illinois, goes to Illinois, projected to be the number 5 overall pick in the NBA draft. If I were Keaton, I would have stayed. The Illinois basketball strength and conditioning program is highly heralded and has been one of the best strength and conditioning programs in the country for quite some time. They've had the same guys there for a while. I think he's the type of guy that needs to put on more weight, and I just don't think you can make your way through the NBA with the type of frame and size that he has. I think he needs to put on more weight, but I understand making your money when you got to make your money. He's going to be the number 5 overall pick. You definitely don't want to risk anything like that. So Wagler on his way out, Vox on his way in, and one more, Alvaro Forgueras, the power forward from Iowa, came off the bench. He is entering the transfer portal. Surprise transfer from a national perspective. I don't know about a local perspective, but from a national perspective from Iowa. We'll get into more local transfer portal stuff coming up next here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
We're going to touch a lot of bases here in this upcoming segment. But number one, before we get into that, Bert Kreischer, everybody's favorite participant of the Masters.
That's what they say about him.
That's what they say. Many people are saying, Rory, you got to come here and see me. After you won the Masters, Kai, my granddaughter, she was there at the Masters. Saw Rory win his second Masters. Come here. There was I don't know if that was a picture today, but there was a picture of Rory and Donald Trump today that was out on the internet. I don't know if that happened today, though.
He's friends with golfers.
Anything to do my Donald Trump impression. It's quite a good impression. I do a little bit of
It's one of your better ones, yeah.
I do sometimes I do raspy Donald, where I put my hands together. Sometimes I do whispering Donald. That man's playing Gallagher. You wouldn't notice, but we do. That's a Tony Stark reference. I was watching the Avengers yesterday. Yes, I was. Bert Kreischer is back in the Metro this fall. Permission to party world tour. Sunday, oh my God. It's December 6th at the Mid-America Center. You can listen all week to Unsportsmanlike Conduct for a chance to win your way in. Double your chances and enter win online at 1620zone.com.
Are you tired of your family saying, what are we going to do for the holidays? Is it a discussion that's running rampant through your living room?
I had to take a deep breath for a second. The December, the football,
it's right around the corner.
The football season will be over. We'll be having discussions.
For some, yes. December will be the end of the football season.
I mean, we'll be having discussions on whether or not Matt Rule should still be the head coach of Nebraska in December.
That's probably going to come up, yes.
Woo. I had a knot in my
This
chest
really
there.
snuck up on you, didn't
it?
it?
I was like, whoa, what month are we in?
Year's almost over, Matt.
Whoa, okay. So I guess it's Sportsmanlike Conduct is giving you tickets for 8 months in advance to really staple in what you're going to do.
I like having things on my calendar.
You do.
planned.
You know what? I'm a calendar boy now.
Look at you.
I'm Mr.
Growing
Calendar.
up before our very eyes.
I took a shot. I took an injection the other day for my screw HIPAA for my psoriasis. I have psoriasis, so I took a shot for it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, everyone knows. I've told this before. Nothing is everything. Oh. I'm one of those. Like now, I relate to one of those commercials that plays after the Bears are getting their ass whooped. You know, I mean, the Detroit Lions just scored their 45th point against the Bears. We go V. You know,
sure.
I now have one of those. Anyway. I had to use my calendar to schedule my next shot. I was like, ooh, I'm a calendar guy now. See that?
Got to put these things on the calendar.
You got to get them on the calendar. It's necessary. Completely necessary. Anyway, Bert Kreischer coming to the Metro in December. Listen to Sportsmanlike to win your way there. Let's begin with the Nebraska basketball transfer portal very quickly because at 1:20, Rueben Bain Jr. of Husker Online and On3 is coming on the show to talk to us about Nebraska basketball. He come. I'm coming. Nobody to stop. Nobody to hold me. Nobody control me. I'm coming. I'm here to do my thing. I'm never, ever going to change. Montez Vontavious Porter.
There's like 12 people in the audience that got that.
It's okay. It's WrestleMania weekend. We can have these references.
Yeah, this week.
This week only, I can reference WrestleMania, and I'm not going to get shamed about it. Which, by the way, Raw is coming to Omaha in May.
That's right.
I already bought my tickets for it. I'm very excited for it. What if we get a wrestler?
Never know what's going to happen on Wacky Guess Wednesday.
But what we're going to make them wait 2 days. It would be Wacky Guess Monday.
You never know what I got up my sleeve.
I never know what you do have up your sleeve. That is totally correct. But we're going to talk about the transfer portal with Rueben. But I want to give us a quick little primer. Right? I don't want you guys walking in blind. I don't want you guys listening to the interview not knowing the context of what we might be talking about. I want to prepare you. We're gonna study for the test that is Rueben Bain Jr.'s interview coming up at 1:20 from Husker Online at On3. 3 visitors have either come through Nebraska, are in Nebraska, or are coming to Nebraska in these last couple of days. Who came over the weekend? Drew Fielder, Boise State, power forward, great 3-point shooter, going to fit in perfectly with Sam Orm if they get his commitment.
Inside Baseball. It was communicated to me from more than one person that it seemed like this thing was done. Like we were good. This cat was coming. And now we've gone the weekend with no commitment from Fielder. Then reading Sean Callahan's Husker Online article today, Brantley's going on a visit to Washington. So as of Friday, it just seemed like, and it wasn't like, I'm the first person to know anything. It seemed like it was kind of out there amongst the people that this dude was coming, that Nebraska was going to get Fielder from Boise State. It's not over. Like it definitely still can happen at this point, right? And I think there would be some people who would be surprised if it didn't. But he didn't commit over the weekend after there being some confidence, I guess, and now he's going to take a visit elsewhere. So we're monitoring that situation of the Boise State forward, Drew Fielder. Currently on a visit now, Trevon Lenhart, the guard from Utah Valley. Lenhart, definitely a guy who would fit in to the Sam Hoiberg role. Okay. Lenhart last season, 12 points, 5.4 assists, along with 2.1 steals per game. He did that. He ranked 23rd nationally in 6 assists per contest this past season. In Utah Valley, the Wolverines finished 25-9 in the WAC, along with he got first team all WAC conference honors and all WAC defensive team honors. So Trevon Lenhart currently on campus right now. He will go ahead and be a priority target. Now, coming to campus. So Fielder was on campus. Lenhart is wrapping up his visit on campus. He's wrapping it up today. And then on his way to visit Nebraska is Tyreek Coleman. Now, if you watched the NIT this year, you would be familiar with Tyreek Coleman.
Damn it, I knew I should have watched the NIT.
I know. You never know when it's going to be useful to you. Coleman from Illinois State, go Redbirds, has locked in an official visit Tuesday and Wednesday, April 14th and April 15th, tax day. Coleman is coming from Kansas State in terms of the last visit he went on. He is then going to go to Utah State on April 16th and April 17th, and then go to Iowa April 17th and April 18th. Real quick here. Whoever Coleman's travel advisor is, you need to get a new one, my man. Okay? Why in God's green earth would you go Kansas State, then to Nebraska, then out to Utah, then back to Iowa? Wouldn't you do it Iowa, then Nebraska, then Manhattan, then over to Utah? Because you got to think of the airports too. Manhattan closer to Colorado. So it's a closer commute from the Kansas State airport to the Colorado airport, then to Utah State. Why are you going out, then up, then out, then back? That's terrible.
Well, Ben McCollum could only have us on a certain day. He's very busy.
He is. He lost Fulgara. Super, super busy, Ben McCollum. So Tyreek Coleman on his way to visit Nebraska, the guard from Illinois State, who averaged 10 points per game, 1.8 assists, shot 41% on 89 attempts from the three-point line. Really good around the basket, 60% on Tuesday this season. The NIT was very big for him in his transfer portal prospect, just because he played against SEC competition and held his own against SEC competition and was not intimidated by their size, because he is a smaller guard at 6'2". He's a 3-star prospect. He played at Wabaudy Valley High School, always a competitor in Illinois in the IBCA state playoffs. He was an all-state selection for multiple years from Wabaudy Valley. Solid basketball player. Could be an interesting addition to the roster. But off campus, who was on campus, Drew Fielder. On campus right now, Trevon Lenhart. Coming on campus, Tyreek Coleman. One power forward. Nebraska's already got one power forward in Sam Warren. Could get another in Fielder. 2 guards coming in, Lenhart and Coleman. We'll see what the Huskers do. Now, to the Creighton Blue Jays. Have some little bit less info here in terms of who's visiting and who's coming in and whatnot. I think the number one thing to note, it is interesting that John Walker, who definitely is very tuned in on the Creighton men's basketball team, a lot of the conversations that John and I had last week on Wednesday's interview, a lot of that came to fruition, right? Told us that more guys were going to enter the transfer portal. That's when we got Fedor entering the transfer portal. That occurred. And then along with, he told us, I don't think Liam McChesney is going to be on this roster for much longer. He was not. A lot of the guys that John originally put on his targeting list for Creighton has kind of remained the same. A lot of the same guards, a couple of forwards. Still, Aaron Woonsay, Oswin from Providence, still a very big pickup. Something to note, Hudson Greer, Jackson McAndrew confirmed they are coming back to Creighton next season to play for the Blue Jays. Obviously massive. Those two guys definitely a part of the core that Alan Huss in this new era of Creighton men's basketball is hoping to build off of. So rendering and keeping their services, definitely a big deal. If you were to lose either of those guys in the transfer portal this cycle, oof. One thing to lose some pieces you're familiar with. It's another thing to lose core guys. Greer and McAndrew would have been core guys. They stay with them. So one note though, John Walker just doesn't do things to do things. He's a very intentional human, John is.
Okay.
Putting Pop Isaac on the hey, look out list on the Omaha.com and the Omaha World Herald. Very interesting.
Probably not doing it for clicks.
Very interesting.
Not to get everybody all ginned up over the return of Pop Isaac. Right?
And look. I'm not. I don't think there's a high possibility of this happening. Okay, I just want to put it on the record. I don't think it's a done deal or a guarantee or it's definitely going to happen. I don't, especially from everything you might have known from when he left, right? But the fact that it's even on the radar of things, the fact that John is even putting it out there is interesting. Okay. So I would go as far to say, don't count on Pop don't count on him being on the team this year. But it's in the ether. Like it's out there. And I don't think that's just out there to be out there. I think there could be something going on. Could be. It's just very interesting. It's out there. Real quick too. Rafael Davis. How do you feel about Rafael Davis, by the way? Do you have any opinions on Rafael Davis?
I don't.
Okay. Big Ten guy, Big Ten network guy. The best dressed guy at the Big Ten tournament by far. The dude dressed like he was about to play a basketball game. It was something. He's pretty good on the microphone as well. I've always been pretty impressed with what he does in the Big Ten network. Very well spoken, and very, very clean. Knows what he's talking about. Interesting tweet. And now the reason why I bring up this Rafael Davis tweet is because he's a prominent member of the Big Ten. He's got 23,000 followers, and he's very in tune with college basketball. Rafael tweets this. Only Berke Buchtengel has surprised me so far in the portal. I'm not sure any other coach or system will give him as much freedom as he had at Nebraska. Dude became a star just from playing hard. I don't know, man. Like,
that's why I'm curious where he's going to go. Like,
it's one of those things where you have these agents get in your ear and go, money. Berke, Kansas State, Texas Tech. These teams got money. They're going to give you money. But that last line from Rafael is a guy who's watched a lot of Nebraska basketball. Dude became a star just from playing hard.
Mm-hmm.
Berke was what? The fifth best player on Nebraska's basketball team? The fifth best. Brink was better than him. Price was better than him. Frager was better than him. Sam was better than him. He was the fifth best player on that team. And yet, we have people who were going through it emotionally that he was no longer going to be on the roster next season. We had a lot of people mad that 5 points and 6 rebounds were no longer going to be on the team.
You got to park the Brinks truck up.
We had people being like, pass the hat around, keep Berke. And I think like this tweet from Rafael, like spot on. Okay. Mm-hmm. Spot on. I think Berke was way more loved than what his play garnered. But on top of that, I think it just kind of communicates to you that there are some things that are more important than money, and definitely being loved and being rooted for and being supported. And also just, he's right. Bearcat did just have as much freedom to just, all right, just go and, man, there was no expectations on Bearcat to score. When Bearcat scored, it was like, oh my God, great.
The Bearcat game.
Cool. Yeah. Dude, against Vanderbilt. Against
good game to have it against. Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where I think it's a very, very well-mannered, thought-out, intellectual tweet and take from Raphael Davis, being like, look, I'm surprised that a guy who doesn't have all these gaudy stats and isn't a dude you go, he can be the second or third best player on a great team. I'm surprised he entered the portal in a situation where he was given all of the leeway and all of the love. He left that situation, right? And what is that situation created by? Good coaching and great fan bases and a great fan support. And Nebraska has great coaching in Fred Hoiberg, in Ernie Ziegler, in Nate Lenzer. And then rest basketball, I don't care if you're a Jay fan or you're a Maverick fan or whatever fan you are, the showing out that Nebraska basketball had this year at Pinnacle Bank Arena, the energy that they brought at home games, the traveling that they brought to Oklahoma City, the fan base they brought to Houston. It's a great fan base in terms of the support. And they gave this guy, they made the dude who was the 5th best player on a 4 seed memorable and cared so deeply about him.
Now you're going to take a bag and go be the man at
You're not going to be the man anywhere.
Valpo or someplace like that.
But Valpo doesn't even have the bag. He's going to take the bag to be the 4th best player on a team that doesn't have an emotional connection to him, whose coach doesn't necessarily have a defensive system that plays to his strengths, who's going to be totally okay with being like, sit your ass on the bench. You're not doing what I want.
Don't mess with Happy, man. If it's working.
And that's the one thing. When you see all of these reports and everything we've heard, it's not necessarily about Bearcat didn't want to be here anymore. It was his agent. They couldn't reach a number. Man, so much credit to Fred Hoiberg standing on business, being like, nah, dude, you're not worth that. We're not doing this. We're not going to set a bad precedent here. So we'll see. I'm very interested to see what happens with Bearcat. Interested to see what happens with Bob Isaacs. Very interesting to see what happens with Drew Fielder. Like I said, boys who do power forward. 2 different people told me. Yeah, it seems like it's done. And now he's off campus at this point. And according to an article from Husker Online, he's going to Washington. So we'll see what occurs. We've seen crazier things happen in the portal, but I mean, that would be a massive pickup for Nebraska basketball if they can render his services. A person whose services we're going to render next year to tell you all about Nebraska basketball and the transfer portal and even things that we don't know. His name's Robin Washut from Husker Online on 3, coming up next year on Middays with Matt.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
We are in the thick of transfer portal season in college basketball. I actually kind of like the transfer portal season better in basketball than in football because it actually just kind of seems like well-mannered. These young men are actually going on a lot of visits. It's not a whole, the concept. Remember, I kept telling you, don't let them leave. Don't let anybody leave. It seems like these guys are actually leaving and going to other places and coming to a decision. I don't know. Maybe our next guest will disagree with me in terms of this. It's Robin Washington, Husker Online and On3. Am I wrong? Or does there seem to be a little bit more decorum in the college basketball portal than football?
I don't know if I would go that far. Maybe some specific examples there are, but it's still very much things where tampering has been in full effect in a lot of situations, and you still have guys committing sight unseen, where basically their agents are making 95% of the decisions and setting them up for the biggest payday rather than the best fit. So you get a lot of that stuff, just like we do with football. I guess the one positive is that, it's a much smaller pool of players that you're dealing with in terms of like each respective team. So, with football portal, it's literally the entire map across 22 positions, where, basketball, there's only a handful of guys that you really zero in on. Now that there's the other side of the coin to that is a lot of weight gets put on the few names that get mentioned, and when things don't go the way people hope with a certain recruit, it's like the sky is falling, and what are we going to do now? Our portal class is crushed, all that stuff. So there's a give and take with both of it. But I personally am looking very much forward to Nebraska getting some commitments and getting the ball rolling on finishing out this portal class, because it's a bit of a grind, right?
Yeah, it is a bit of a grind, and that's such a great take, Robin. I'm mad that I didn't think of that. Like, in football, when you have a portal class of 24 dudes, there might be a dude or two you really wanted, but you kind of forget about because you had a 24. What a big class in basketball would be considered 4 or 5 guys, right? So it's just like you lose one, it definitely has a lasting impact. You mentioned you're looking forward to Nebraska getting some commits and getting the ball rolling, and so far it's kind of been a grind. Let's work through the weekend, essentially, because you wrote a great articles, multiple over the last couple of days, of detailing who's in and who's out, who's visiting, who's not visiting, other visits and whatnot. So let's just kind of work through this here. And then I got one bonus question at the end that I think you'll be great in answering. Let's start from the beginning. The guy who took the first visit, I believe it was on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, Drew Fielder from Boise State, very highly heralded prospect. Where are we at this process of him potentially committing to Nebraska? Made his visit, no longer on campus. Read earlier also on Husker Online that he might be going to Washington. What's the update there, and where does Nebraska currently stand in terms of rendering the services of Drew Fielder from Boise State?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess the good news is Nebraska was his first official visit. He got in, I think it was Thursday night, and then left Friday evening. So it was a shorter official visit. And then from there, he went straight to Washington for his second visit, and, left both campuses without announcing a commitment. So it appears at the moment that it's a 2-horse race between Nebraska and Washington. And, both schools have their pitches. Nebraska's really leaning into their success rate with versatile, offensively skilled bigs that thrive in Fred's system. The fact that a starting job is right there for the taking for him, and ample playing time with a massive role in the offense, and then the success that they're actually able to sell now, where you're going to a team that just went to the Sweet 16, and that's the pitch that Nebraska's never had before. So there's a lot that Nebraska really tried to hammer home, but in the portal world, a lot of that stuff kind of oftentimes comes second to money. And Washington, they might not have the crazy money they did a year ago, where they just like recklessly spent. They had a $10+ million roster and got very little in return on that investment. So the talk is that they're not working with or spending as much as they did a year ago, but it's still substantial. It's still a team that, is going to lose some big name players from last year's roster. That's going to open up a lot of money for them. So, if there's as much as Nebraska hopes that their NIL situation and rev share situation are, substantially better than they have been in previous years. The reality is they're still playing catch-ups to a lot of schools, and Washington could very well be one of those schools that even if they're working with a smaller budget, they're still a bit further ahead in terms of overall roster payroll than Nebraska is. So we'll see kind of what the priorities are for Drew Fielder. I think from a basketball standpoint, Nebraska makes perfect sense for him.
It does.
But, a lot of times money talks, and, we'll just see kind of, I do know that, the word is Nebraska put together a very competitive offer for him. So it's not like they're just trying to chump change him and, nickel and dime him into a commitment. But, again, sometimes the bottom dollar wins out. So we'll see. I would imagine that unless a new school pops up, a decision should be coming relatively soon, hopefully by early this week. But there's no known time frame for this decision. And again, things can change quickly in the portal world, where all it takes is one more school to jump in with a big bag of cash, and they can change the entire dynamic of the conversation. So that's kind of where we stand right now, just playing the waiting game. As of 1:30 p.m. on Monday, it sounds like it's a 2-horse race with Nebraska very much in the conversation. But until we get word, you just really don't know.
Yeah, and man, you can only imagine what the offense might look like if you can add a guy like that along with Orm, who Orm and Field are kind of similar in how they score, right? Two guys who were in double digits in their respective schools last year, but both guys who can light it up from the 3-point line. It'd be spacing galore, especially beneficial for a guy like Braden Frager, who we're all hoping has a massive impact, massive jump next season, who did confirm earlier last week that he is coming back to the Huskers. Let's talk about the guy who's on campus right now, might be wrapping up his visit. We may not know for sure. Trevon Lenhart. Robin, when we entered this transfer portal cycle, I think a lot of people said, Rink is an incredibly important player and Jamarcus was an incredibly important player, but it's going to be hard to replace what Sam Hoiberg brought to this Nebraska basketball team last season. Trevon Lenhart, just from a average and statistic perspective, looks like that kind of guy, right? Where double-digit score, 6 assists per game, 23rd nationally last season, a great stat by you that you put in your latest article around him, along with 1.8 steals per game. How big of a pickup could this be for the Huskers, and how do you think they're trending right now?
Yeah, I mean, he's right up there on their priority targets. He's a guy like that you said would fill another glaring void in the roster right now in the backcourt. Just with, the fact that he's an older guy. I think he's 23, 24 years old. And so, he's got a lot of maturity to him. And he's played a lot of basketball. And, at 6, he's listed anywhere from 6'4" to 6'5". Like, he's a bigger guard, and Fred generally likes bigger guards.
Yeah.
Obviously they did not have bigger guards this year, but they made it work. But like from just a numbers standpoint, there's certainly a lot of parallels between what Sam Hoiberg did and what Lenhart did at Utah Valley. Just the similar stat lines, but the thing that really jumps out to you is, he averaged 6 assists per game, along with scoring 12 points per game. So he's a guy that can shoot really well, just under 37% from 3-point range. But he was in the top 25 nationally in assists per game. And, you'll want to try to find ways to replicate all of the distribution that they're losing with Rink, Sam, Jamarcus. That would go a long way if you're able to pick up a guy like Trevon Lenhart. So I think Nebraska's in a very, very good spot. Like I said, the visit wrapped up today. I just don't know if he's still on campus. I just heard that he was leaving today. And, we're just kind of in wait and see mode on that one as well. I know Arizona State is another school that's been thrown around as another potential suitor, but I haven't heard anything as far as a visit being set to Tempe. So right now, Nebraska is the lone visitor and the first visitor. And with him being a priority target, that seems to align the stars pretty well for maybe this one working out. But, again, it's not over till it's over, but I would say Nebraska is the clear front runner in that sweepstakes.
Let's go to one guy who will be visiting beginning tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, Tyreek Coleman, Illinois State. Go Redbirds. First off, were you as confused as I was when you looked at his travel schedule and said the guy's going to Nebraska, then to Kansas State, then going to Utah State, and then coming back for Iowa? Does the guy need to get a new travel advisor? What is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's working his way west and then hitting Iowa City back on the way home. I'm not sure, but he's the guy that I think he's maybe not like your prime, like top tier guard, maybe that you would look at as far as Nebraska's portal priorities, but I think he checks a lot of boxes. He's a younger guy. He's just a freshman this year, so he's got 3 years of eligibility. That's a big deal. Just because you need to balance out your classes.
Yeah. Yep.
And, he's a guy that played well against upper level competition. He scored double figures against USC and Auburn in the NIT, and, had a good game, I believe, against Murray State. So, he's, I think played well in the bigger spotlights that he played in this season. He's the athletic guard out there. I see a lot of similarities in his game to what they had with Jamarcus Lawrence. He's a guy that can play with pace. He's a more than capable shooter. He's one of those guys that was close to 40% for 3-point range. So, and he's a guy that the moment didn't seem to be too big for him when he was in that realm. So I think that's one that's certainly worth keeping an eye on. Again, there's a lot of other visits sets, some more competition in line, but if Nebraska can, get him on campus and then, sell kind of the pitch of, what a guy like Jamarcus Lawrence was able to do for his career here, that should give Nebraska a pretty good chance. But, I guess we'll see with 4 other schools being involved. This one's a little different compared to a 2-horse race with Fielder and really right now a 1-horse race with Lenhart.
Let's go ahead and real quickly here, just because I want your quick opinion on it. Wisconsin's athletic director, Brian McIntosh, has stepped down, and he's going to go ahead and take a role at the Big Ten office. Now, this comes on the heels of a report saying that the Wisconsin governor signed off on $14 million being given to the Wisconsin Athletic Department in order to alleviate some costs to help them invest more in rev share. Just looking at the at the Wisconsin football program and then the basketball program too, which has been fine, but definitely not to the level they once were. Is there trouble in Madison? Is this athletic director job that attractive to you? I mean, what's kind of your take looking on the outside in to Madison right now?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly raises eyebrows.
Yeah.
You look at just kind of the financial aspect of it, like, Wisconsin's trying, they're doing all they can to raise the money, but, they're in a tough spot to where, like, I wonder how much higher their ceiling can go in terms of keeping up with the Joneses, even within the Big Ten Conference. And then, it's some similarities to Nebraska where, like, they're very dependent on their football team kind of being the driving force behind their athletic success. And, Wisconsin football is kind of going through their share of question marks at the moment. So it's a kind of a tenuous spot for the Badgers right now with no AD in place and with questions with their, front porch sport, and just some already pre-existing financial concerns. Like, I think they've got some issues to address right now, and whoever ends up taking that AD job is going to have a lot on their plate.
A ton on their plate, indeed. You got a ton on your plate. You got a lot to report on when it comes to Nebraska and the transfer portal. Can't wait to read all of it, update our listeners on what you're doing. Robin, you're awesome at your job, and we appreciate you coming on every Monday here on Middays with Matt.
Well, thank you, Matt. Hopefully I get some news here to report soon.
Okay, all right.
It's been a little too quiet.
Okay, all right. Little tease there from Robin Washington on the way out. We appreciate it, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later.
See ya. That Wisconsin job, man. Like, we've talked a lot about teams that have elevated themselves, like, because of the NIL, teams that have elevated their programs because of the NIL, right? Texas Tech has done it. Indiana has done it. There are definitely teams that have been the beneficiary of money being on the table and being able to spend that money. SMU is another team that comes to mind. But then there are definitely some athletic departments that are suffering big time. And, Cal is one of those. They announced yesterday they're like firing so many people in their communications and marketing department, and they're off. They're giving it to kind of another company to do it and offloading that, and maybe some of those marketing communications people who get fired can get a job with that company, right? Who's then going to make a different impact on Cal's athletic department. But that's kind of to be expected, right? That's a team that went from the Pac-12 to the ACC, right? When you have to make those cross-country trips, right, to the Atlantic Coast Conference rather, for all these types of sports, it's really going to wear down on your funds, right? You're going to drain your bank account pretty quickly. And so you're going to have to make some tough decisions. But Wisconsin, it's just a string of ill will with the fans, not being able to get that donor money, not having those connections, not being strong with your alumni base, and then making some questionable decisions. McIntosh, who came after Barry Alvarez, the legendary Badger head football coach and then athletic director, had to be the guy after the guy. And when he hired Luke Fickell, how much excitement was there? How many people were saying that was the best hire of the cycle? How many people thought, wow, he's going to take this program to new heights? And McIntosh definitely pushed Paul Chryst out of his coaching position in order to get Fickell there. And now it's become what it's become. Wisconsin football has never been more relevant, kind of in this era right now in the 2000s.
I can't find the tweet. Somebody this morning asked if Wisconsin football is a bottom 5 power 4
It was
job.
Michael Severe.
Okay.
It was Michael. We will talk about it, tomorrow. But it's one of those things where you made that hire and Chris McIntosh. Brian McIntosh, I think that was a former Northwestern point guard. But anyway,
look at you.
Chris McIntosh, the former Wisconsin athletic director, leaving Wisconsin to go to the Big Ten to be like the deputy commissioner. Like, we were really excited and people were like, oh my God, what a hire for Wisconsin. Holy crap, look at what they did. And then now where are we at? Wisconsin football is irrelevant. It's not fun. People aren't excited about last season. They're not excited about this season. And then even basketball, right? John Blackwell, a legend in Madison, hops in the portal because they don't have the money to pay him what he needs to stay there. So things are getting weird. Things are getting weird for the Badgers. We're not getting weird here on Middays with Matt. Real quick, dog of the day and what to watch coming up next. Josh Hodson. What are
Matt
we watching?
McMaster.
What are we watching tonight?
Not much. Maybe get reacquainted with your family.
Oh, that's a great
Today,
idea.
Baseball on our TVs tonight. FS1 540 for Cubs and Phillies. Some young up-and-comer named Kevin Kugler on the call for that one.
Wow, I think that guy's got a real future.
It's got superstar written all over him. Hockey on ESPN. For some reason, out of all the games they could have chosen, they chose Kings and Kraken at 9 o'clock.
The Kings are cracking.
I mean, maybe pick some playoff teams.
Maybe Mike Vrabel is playing on that team. We said we wouldn't talk about it.
We're not going to.
Maybe, but he probably is cracking. All right, what's up next?
And then last but not least, 6 o'clock on ESPN tonight. It is the 2026 WNBA Draft. The Dallas Wings hold the number 1 pick for the second straight year.
Wait. They're drafting tonight?
They're drafting tonight.
Oh.
And Ozzie Fudd expected to be the number 1 pick. Her girlfriend is on the team.
Oh, Ozzie Fudd. Okay. UConn guard, right? Doesn't she play for UConn?
Yeah.
Ozzie Fudd sounds like a guy who won like 7 majors in golf in 1942.
It's got some Fuzzy Zeller vibes to
Big
it.
time.
Yeah,
Ozzie Fudd.
I'm going to kill your bookmaker. I'm going to rip his throat out. I will blow this man out. I will step on his throat until the man chokes. Let me tell you how.
Winners.
Dog. Winners.
Dog.
Winners.
Dog.
Winners.
Dog.
Winners. I'm on a roll.
Dude, you gotta love dogs, right?
Here's our dog. Philadelphia Flyers seem to win tonight. Carolina Hurricanes, who already have the top seed in the East clinch.
Yeah, they don't need tonight.
They're sitting Sebastian Aho, who has 80 points of the season. Seth Jarvis, 66 points of the season. Jordan Stahl, he's still playing, which is insane. Along with Shneshnikov is off, and Gus could be here.
This is a real Celtics Magic situation.
Hurricanes are sitting everybody. The Flyers need to win desperately. I think they're going to get a little bit over their skis and be too fancy. Let's go under 5.5 goals scored tonight, plus 113. Hurricanes versus Flyers. Under 5.5, plus 113. Great edition of Middays. Matt, thank you so much for joining us today. Had a lot of fun. Talked about a bunch of different topics like we always try to do. Thank you for the people who listen on the radio. Thank you for the people who listen at 1620 The Zone AM and 97.7 The Zone FM over in Central Nebraska. And our incredible YouTube chatters. Thank you for tweeting on the Liquid Zone trucking feed and calling in and texting on the on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline and emailing in on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. USC and the crossover coming up next.